Officioso start.
Here we go. Hey, why am I so tiny? What the fuck?
I had to reduce your height.
Why am
I
I so
shrank. I
tiny?
shrank you. I shrank you. I
Small.
shrank you. I did this for you because of your whole like I want taller women thing. So be
Yeah,
grateful.
there we go. There we go. Now I'm no no I am no I am canonical size.
Yeah,
Biblically accurate candy.
biblically accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hello everyone. Welcome again to our house where we talk. That's what
Okay,
we do.
there's a lot going on here. No, no, you can't. This is gaslighting. We were in front of a cityscape. Now we're in like a cozy villascape. What sort of impossible space did you buy?
I don't know. They did mention the house used to belong to like some Azure guy.
Oh, okay. Wonder what he was like. Wonder if we'll bump into him anytime soon.
Maybe I don't know. I do see weird people in the stairs sometimes.
Yeah, there's one who keeps like just standing over me and they're shrouded in black and I can only see their eyes and they just look down on me while I sleep. Or while when I'm paralyzed.
Actually, yeah, that does sound kind of fun. Like driving through here on like a tiny car, like super fast.
Just a Mario Kart thing. Oh yeah, the Switch 2 came out. And
Oh
the Mario
yeah,
Kart World game came out. Yeah.
oh yeah. I kind of want one, but I'm waiting for it to get jailbroken.
Yeah, it won't be too long. Homebrewers are crazy.
Yeah,
I still have to sell my old one.
especially with Nintendo consoles.
Yeah. I have to sell my old one. I think some reviews came out into I
Yeah,
God, there's that one YouTube channel called Jerry Rigs Everything, and I hate it because he just like he'll like cut the thing with a knife to test its durability. Like he is going in the most nitty gritty of the technical, but like he'll like cut the screen and the film off of it, and I'm just sitting there and like, God, there are so many people who just want to buy this, bro.
yeah. It's like I remember there was this one guy who like as part of he would like do like phone reviews, and as part of his phone reviews he would like take them and like bend them until they broke to like test
That's
how strong they
torture.
were.
That's such torture. Why? YouTube reviewer like hardware YouTube reviewers have too good of a life.
Yeah,
If you can be given like expensive tech and then part of your video is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna blow it up. Like, bro, do a giveaway or something.
yeah.
Are you
I'm,
wasting perfectly good merch?
I'm gonna blow it up. Yeah,
No, yeehaw.
yeah. Although I do see the appeal of blowing stuff up.
I do see the appeal of like the blowing up, but like if it was just like I'm gonna cut this with an exacto knife and completely tear off the film of this thing, it's just like what's the okay? I get it. I get what you're saying. You're trying to go into the core aspects of this thing in its entirety, but goddamn.
Yeah. No, but like I do remember there was a couple of like phones that actually survived, and it's like, oh, okay, so they're good, I guess.
Oh, hey Rex.
Hey Rex, hello, hello. Good
Hey
night to
killer.
you too.
I only loaded up chat now. Okay.
So yeah, like I don't know, like I know this Witch came out, and I know there's been like
Oh, cut bread.
I do remember seeing that. Do you remember there was this
Yeah.
guy? But this was like all YouTube. But this was this guy who was like selling blenders, and to prove that his blenders were like super strong, he would like blend like anything.
Okay,
Like
I here's the thing. I don't think I watched them. I do remember specifically a gif of like a phone being thrown into a blender, and that like the blender just tearing through it. So I
yeah,
don't know if that was him.
yeah, it was the guy was selling blenders, and to like prove his blenders were like good, he would like, we can blend metal, we can blend phones, we can blend computers, whatever you want, it blends. Yeah,
At some point, like yeah, I guess like the question just arises like, why would you think I'd need to blend metal?
evidence.
I guess so.
No,
That'd be an
but
interesting Phoenix Wright case.
that was all YouTube. I think that was like
I miss
2010s.
old YouTube. I really do. Oh,
Yeah,
2010s is now old YouTube? That sucks. I
I
think
mean
about it
that's.
more. I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. No, I'm not even arguing with you. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what we classify it, but that sucks. That still sucks.
I mean, by 2010, YouTube was like only like 6 years old. I was still like 8 months
Yeah, but
was in
like,
YouTube.
yeah, you say that, but let's be real. Like pre 2010s YouTube was still pretty different
Yeah,
to 2010s YouTube. Like, let's be real.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
recently I remember like for some reason YouTube suggested me like Gangnam Style again, and I was like,
Mm.
oh my god.
We're gonna eventually have to like hear from people on YouTube that were born after YouTube like existed, like as a regularity, like as common.
Yeah,
They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm on this site, but I was like born like 4 years after," and that's just gonna be like the batting average for content creators that are just coming up. And you're gonna be like, "Oh my god,
yeah.
like
That
this
was
site predates you,
how
you
how how
fetus."
how old do you think Gangnam Style is at this point?
Gangnam Style, I want to say came out when I was in high school. I just don't know which year in high school, so it could be like 14 years ago.
12, so close enough.
Okay.
But Jesus Christ, like, like
Because
I
like here's the thing,
remember.
Gangnam Style, and then people remember Gangnam Style, but people don't remember, and rightfully so, Harlem Shake.
Oh yeah, I
Because
remember.
because Harlem Shake meme was kind of like whatever.
I think I was the only person in my school who never was in one of those like Harlem Shake videos. I think like every class did at least one.
One friend did like a sarcastic one where I will say, Killa, just to throw it out there, like there are some that are just excellently choreographed, but that's just like the spontaneity of the moment.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I will give them some, but it's like I only knew one that made like a sarcastic take on it, and then the rest were just playing about. I was very much like the type of person during high school, like memes would fly above my head. Even now, a lot of memes definitely
yeah.
fly over my head.
No, I do remember though. Like I think like every fucking like club and team and like class in my school did one Harlem Shake, and I do remember I really did appreciate the volleyball teams one for reasons.
Hmm? Oh, my nose. I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, I do
Excuse me.
remember. I really did appreciate the Harlem Shake by the volleyball team of my school for reasons.
Of course you did.
Listen, you have like every single one of those ladies had like legs thicker than my fucking torso. It was fucking insane.
It's volleyball. What do you think? They 90% of that sports requires like your jumping ability.
And to be fair, I like I
And
wasn't
even
even.
then if you're libero, you still have to do a bunch of other things too. So,
Yeah. To be fair, I
yeah.
wasn't even like thinner back then. Like I actually like
Mm,
put on some weight. I think like back when I was in high school, I was like 45 kilograms.
45 kilos. You were only 90 pounds? Okay.
Yeah, thereabouts. But
That
nowadays I'm
is
like
terrifying at your height.
nowadays I'm like 65.
You'd look like you would have looked like the goddamn like vertebrae in the wheelchair that SpongeBob goes to sell chocolate.
I really do like chocolate. Like that's that
Yeah,
like I actually do act like that in
I love
real life.
chocolate too.
Actually, that like
No, but
that is.
you're thinking of the guy screaming at the chocolate. The the
Oh
the
yeah,
vertebrae, yeah, because the
yeah. I
shriveled
remember the
thin
vertebrae.
vertebrae lady's just like, oh, chocolate, nougaty, smooth, crunchy. I hate it. It's like, yeah.
No, yeah, like that is like one of the cheat codes for like getting stuff for me. It's just getting chocolate.
Oh, you're totally like the marketing for like Valentine's chocolate. You'd be doomed.
As long as it doesn't have like nuts, because you know how like chocolate sometimes has like little pieces of nuts in them.
Yeah, yeah, you don't. Oh, right, because of your whole texture thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I like crunchy chocolates, and nuts can add like the crunch to it. But like, okay, what about a Haagen-Dazs? Would you eat a Haagen-Dazs?
What the fuck is that?
You don't know what a Haagen-Dazs is? You've never had a Haagen-Dazs over there? Like
I
in your
never seen one.
convenience stores? They're like the chocolate vanilla, they're the chocolate covered vanilla like ice cream popsicles that have like nuts in the chocolatey shell. Very
Oh yeah.
tasty.
I don't know. I feel like
Like hard chocolate covered vanilla is like never a miss. It's really good, but
yeah, yeah, like not specifically that brand, but I have had like chocolate ice cream
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but I guess like it's
those are
different
good.
because like, I don't know. My brain is like very specific in the
I
way
think
that
it's
the textures
the
work.
oatmeal raisin. I think it's the oatmeal raisin cookie for you thing. It's like you need to know that you're gonna bite into that before you do.
Yeah,
There has to be an awareness, otherwise your brain just completely will get thrown off because it's like I was assuming it would be this and then it's not that and then it weirds you out.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
yeah.
like I'm very specific on like, oh, and it's like for example, like I
Isn't that an
remember
everyone thing? I
like
do know people who will just bite into something and like even if the texture is like not what they think, like it won't completely bother them. I've never been against oatmeal raisin cookies, but
like
yeah. Go ahead.
I remember yesterday my mom made like tried like a new way of making like I don't know, it is like, how do you call that, meat cakes? I don't know.
Shepherd's pie or
Let's go
buns?
meat cakes. Yeah, meat cakes.
Okay, all right.
My mom tried like a new recipe for like meat cakes and the new way of making them, and the flavor was exactly the same as always, and I like them, right? Uh, uh,
That is true. Killer. Yeah, you're right.
uh,
I still like raisins, but yeah, if you're gonna tell me it's chocolate and then you give me raisins, that does that's a betrayal. Go ahead, Candy.
uh, and the flavor was the same, right? She only changed the way she made them. She didn't change the actual recipe, so the flavor was
Mm-hmm.
fine, but I couldn't eat them because because of the way she made them. Like the little like pieces of like some of the like vegetable in them were like more like uh prominent, and I wasn't able to eat them because of that. I had
I
to like
feel like
I had to use like eat scrambled eggs.
I feel like increasingly as this our friendship goes on and you tell me more about yourself, I think it's most of Euro server. I have to resist the temptation to bully you for your autism
No, it's okay.
cuz it's like you serve it up on a silver platter. And I'm on the spectrum too. There's no debate that I probably am, but
Yeah,
just like Jesus
I
Christ.
know. I know. I am on the. I am functional, but I am on the lower end of functional. I know that much.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because like anytime Euro server talks, one of us will just mention something about our autism and we're just like, you're making it really hard not to clown on you right now.
yeah. No, but yeah, like no, and like there is a lot of stuff. Like for example, like I don't know, like I have this thing where like for my brain, dinner is between 7 and 8. If dinner is like ready before 7, I cannot eat it, and if it's ready after 8, I cannot eat it. My brain will not let me.
Oh, you would never last a day in an Asian household. Dinner is when mom makes it. It's like it's Asian or Southern Asian household. It's like dinner is when mom has bothered to make it at night, and that is dinner.
Yeah,
11 p.m. dinner. Like
dinner.
okay,
No, yeah.
okay. What about breakfast? Is it as strict
Breakfast.
with breakfast?
Breakfast. I don't eat breakfast.
You, I think we've talked about this before. You only eat 2 meals a day, right?
No, I eat 4, but like I usually wake up at noon, so I just have lunch.
Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking about Dura probably.
So I wake up and I have lunch.
What is that? What is that noise in the background? Some kid in one of the opposite yards is screaming like he's getting stabbed.
It isn't me, and I don't do that anymore.
What the hell? It's like Saturday at 10 p.m. Kid, go inside and watch. Do kids still watch TV?
I don't know the TV.
I don't know.
I do think
Do
he.
whatever.
I mean, but like I guess like physically, yeah, they watch TV, but like the thing is like TVs nowadays just have like the
Is it
apps
streaming?
built in.
Here's the thing. I've mentioned this before. It's so weird because like we made the joke that we're gonna loop back into cable television, but it's just like also like people usually hate commercials and ad breaks, but anytime I watch long form content, I do take a break from it,
Yeah.
and I will essentially create my own commercial breaks.
But I guess like
It's
that is the thing is like the control you have over that. That like
yeah, it's it's
if you
it's
are creating
versus
your own
like
breaks,
yeah, invasive, yeah.
if you are creating your
It's
if you are creating your own breaks, you determine when they happen and how long they are. So like
yeah. Cuz like if you do like I don't know, if you watch a 2-hour video and then in the middle you need like an ad break. Sure, I get it. I do it all the time, but usually what I'll do is I'll just listen to music. Like I need some weird brain refresh
yeah
or I'll do another task and then I come back to it. I don't know why I'm exactly like that. I don't know if that's just the preconditioning of TV format. Have you streamed? Do you mean like me streaming on Twitch or have I streamed as in stream shows?
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah, I used to stream. I don't really like streaming as much as I like just recording, and that's on
yeah
me. It's a completely different ballpark. Where it's like streaming on platforms I just stream on Crunchyroll and then Netflix. I haven't had ads pop up on either, but that's because like I share my accounts with my friends and we all split the bill.
yeah. Did you hear
Yeah.
that YouTube is like increasing the length of the unskippable ads?
Did you stream for a long time or did you take I did stream for a long time. When I did the I keep mentioning it, the longest stream I've ever done was the Ace Attorney stream, which was 14 hours for the final trials and tribulations portion.
Yeah,
And by the end of it, my voice was so shot that for like the next like 4 or 5 days, I sounded like a chain smoker. I did like how I sounded. I think I do sound cooler when my voice is raspy.
wow.
But yeah,
Did you hear that YouTube is going to increase the length of the like unskippable ads?
I did. I think they were all, like more in because they. What is it like? What was the reasoning? I do know that they were going to lengthen it, but I don't know why. Do you feel streaming is completely different from watching? You mean me as a streamer versus watching? Yeah, yeah. Because when you're streaming, you're engaged, right?
Yeah,
When you're watching, it's reactive. So there's a little more time for your brain to do subconscious thoughts. Whereas like streaming, you either have to keep the chat engaged, you're engaged with the game. If you're trying to be an entertaining streamer, you're at least making commentary.
yeah,
So there's a lot to do for your brain. Whereas like watching, like sitting in silence watching a YouTube video, like at the back of your brain's like, oh, you forgot to do this and this and this, and then your brain's like, maybe I should shift the priority level when it happens.
yeah,
I think I only don't like the only times I don't really do self-made ad breaks for long form content is I need more breaks. With long form content is when I'm listening to background music to go to sleep because it wouldn't make sense to do the self-made commercial breaks.
yeah.
So yeah,
Can you
sounds like
imagine
I need more breaks. Yeah.
you're falling asleep and then you're like, no, but I have to like I have to do something else.
No, but I have to. I mean, to be fair, that happens to me a lot too. It's one of the reasons why I can't sleep. Is my brain is very wired a lot of the time, even when I'm exhausted. So it's really trying to go into game mode to plan things. And then there's also revenge bedtime. We've talked about that concept where you feel like your daytime has been robbed of you because of responsibilities and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so you go to
you
bed
eat into your
later.
own.
You're like,
Yeah, and so
I
which
need
is
more time.
obviously not ideal.
I need
Yeah,
time.
I
Give
need
me more time.
time. I would go to I Dragon Ball Z has a thing called the hyperbolic time chamber. I would totally abuse that. I would be doomed.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Cuz
I
it's
feel
like
like
one year in there is a week out here.
yeah, no, no, and I feel like I don't know. I often think like people ask you like, hey, what superpower would you like to have? And I'm like stopping time, and they're like, why? I mean, like to like do more stuff.
What?
Like people, so, when people ask you like, hey, what superpower would you like to have?
Yeah, no, I know that part. You said time stop. Why exactly time stop, buddy?
to do more stuff.
To do more stuff.
Yeah, to do more stuff. Because I always feel like the days are too fucking short. So like, what if I stop the
Here's the
time
thing, though. Like with
and I
time
like
stop,
what if I stop the
with time
time
stop,
and I get myself
what
like
kind of stuff? Oh, everyone in the room was thinking it, huh? Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with the hyperbolic time chamber and the time stop problem is like, do you age during the time dilation stop? Because in the hyperbolic time chamber, you do, which would be the problem. If I was using it like how you would use it, which is problematic because you don't want to have like one person alone in a dilated time chamber for a year. They'll just go insane, but hey, you could get a lot done. And if you aged every time you time stopped and then you became dependent on time stop,
yeah.
would you physically age and then
I mean,
you're just hanging out with the homies and they're like, "Dog, you look like shit."
I guess at that point you have to start smoking to pretend that is the reason you look like shit.
Maybe. But
It's
like
like
if magic powers, because here's the thing, at least with the okay, well no, I don't want to add rules just for my benefit, but my brain went like, okay, in the Dragon Ball universe, if you had the hyperbolic time chamber, you could also just like use the Dragon Balls to de-age physically. So you would keep the wisdom and tactics that you've gathered in there, and you would just have like you'd be at your physical prime.
yeah.
Dio uses time stop, but the problem with Dio is he's a vampire, so he doesn't age anymore. So there's no real. Oh, you know what? Jotaro uses time stop, but he doesn't use it so much that it matters. He can only like stop time for like 5 to 7 seconds, depending.
That's not enough time to masturbate.
No, okay, yeah, for you, but in the in a fight, that's like plenty of time.
Yeah. I guess you can dodge a wall left. Like that's enough to like get out of the way of a bullet.
Well, at the same time, his stand is still active. Like that thing punches at the speed of light. Like most people are probably gonna get bodied, giving Star Platinum like 7 seconds to land in punches.
I feel like if you're punching at the speed of light, you don't need time stop.
There are interesting like clashes, and physics is always this evolving study because if I remember correctly, there was like a recent thing where it's like photons don't experience time as we do. It's just instantaneous. But I'm yeah. Oh, we have a bot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I forgot I could. Okay, yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. I no, we've talked about this. Is like powers when you're a kid, you want like powers that make you like a fighter,
Yeah.
but like as you grow older, there are just powers that would just seem convenient. Like I would get instant transmission from Dragon Ball because then I could just skip commuting altogether and I could
Yeah.
sleep in. I would get
Yeah.
like shadow clones because shadow clones could multitask and then you just merge back to one and you get all of their memories like I could get so much done if
Yeah.
one dude was doing the recording, another dude was doing like the editing, and then like I was working out and stuff like playing with the dogs like
I
boom.
get I get telekinesis too of fucking dishes without getting my hands wet.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's just like powers to that effect.
I
So,
that's probably like my least favorite chore. I fucking hate doing the dishes.
um we have a dishwasher now, but we don't use it cuz we're an immigrant Asian family, so well my parents are. I don't hate it, but it's just boring.
Yeah, I don't know. I fucking hate doing the dishes.
Mostly because I think it's because most chores like my brain like okay, I more so I hate my time being wasted.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain. But like so if I'm doing a chore and I'm just listening to a podcast or whatever, I kind of just autopilot. But trying to think of like the chores I hate the most. I actually really like I actually don't mind doing laundry. I genuinely like doing laundry.
I think it's like my second least favorite is like cleaning the bathroom.
Do I hate cleaning the bathroom? Do I hate cleaning? I don't. You know what? I think I also realize my OCD might play into things
Yeah.
because I do genuinely feel a satisfaction when like grime is completely clean.
Yeah.
cleaned up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that doesn't help for me. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate my house being clean, but I also like, ugh, like it's not enough. It's not enough. I need more. I'm like a fucking dog. I need like a fucking reward. Like, what can I reward myself with after doing this shit?
You need a Pavlov situation going on.
Yeah,
Well, no, Pavlov wouldn't imply that we'd have to ring a bell or cause some sort of alert system which would make you do it. The reward system would have to be positive reinforcement. Yeah.
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 I need to like, every time I do a short, I need to like buy myself like some like some like junk food or something like that to it. Like, yeah, I
It
did the
must be
thing.
like the easiest time in the world if you date someone with a really powerful praise kink.
Oh yeah,
Cause you could, that's just a built-in mate, isn't it, for free?
yeah, yeah. It's like wow, you are so good at cleaning.
Yeah, like, I mean, hey, they're getting something out of it, but it's just like,
Yeah. He's like,
yeah,
wow, babe, the bathroom is so clean. You are great at that.
honey, the dishes are dirty. He's like, oh, but it's your turn. The chore wheel's like, yeah, but I just can't do it as good as you. You're just so good at everything. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He feels kind of mean.
It does, doesn't it? I'm making this hypothetical. I'm like, this just feels like really, really manipulative. Like, I'm just imagining this poor person like a month later, and they're just like decrepit, tired, and just
Yeah, they're,
exhausted.
they're
It's like,
fucking
honey, could you do
fucking.
this? It's like, I'd love to, honey. Just.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I don't think "made" is the right word for that.
oh, wow, babe, you're so good at making enough money for both of us and giving it all to me. Oh, that's strong. That's strong. Oh, ooh.
Wow, babe, you are
Ooh.
you are amazing at being the only breadwinner in the house.
That's so good. That's so harsh. Oh my god. I feel so. I know this person. Oh, hopefully this person doesn't like exist. But the hypothetical we made, my heart goes out to you.
I know people like that. I know people like that.
I'm sure there are people like that. There are people who are just very self-sacrificing to a horrible degree, and just some people who would. Would Candy do that? I feel like Candy
No.
and I are close into my relationship where, like, if I tried that with her, she would just call me out on it and laugh at me.
Yeah.
And then I'd argue with her for about 20 minutes, and then we both would just be like, "Is it really worth doing?"
Yeah, and also like overall, I'm just like very bad at getting praised. I don't like getting praised. I have like the opposite of a praise king. I have like a praise phobia.
That's not true. You used to giggle when I'd praise you.
Yeah, it's like a panic reaction.
That's a Oh, that's so funny. I could now you are tempting the shit disturber in me. Now I want to do it more, but
No, 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 no.
I legitimately mean the things I say when I
I
when
know.
I do praise you. Yeah, no. So same with everyone in Euro server. As much as we bag on each other, we are bizarrely supportive.
So, but like that is the problem. If someone like Matara called me a good girl, I would just like I wouldn't be able to do anything because I would shut off. I would like start babbling and I would like stop working, stop functioning as a person.
Yeah. There are some people who would do that if like I think it isn't necessarily praise. Well, I suppose it's praise. Like if like a really beautiful woman in my taste of like goth and tomboy stuff like said just something just as simple as you're cute, like static, my brain would just shut off
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's
I'd
like
black out and I'd wake up again.
I cannot do the shorts because I am not functioning right now.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, but she's so smart. She'd do it when you got home so you'd have 16 hours to recover.
Yeah,
This is min-maxing. This is
yeah.
min-maxing. Min-max your min-max your praise kink wife. I wish we did the titles of the streams like Castle Super Beast. I would have fun with that.
Yeah.
Min-max your praise kink wife is a good one.
You know what? I'm going to clip this. I'm going to highlight this part, and I'm going to call it that. I'm going to call it "Min Max Your Phrase King 5."
I'm proud of this one. I'm really proud of this one. uh,
Yeah. Have you
so
been?
what do we want to? Oh wait, you go ahead,
Have you been?
ladies first.
How? I was going to say like yeah, like okay, like the thing about like this. I know the Switch came out this week, and like there is the whole thing about the Switch and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But I've been keeping
yeah.
up with. I have been keeping up with a different launch.
Okay, 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 okay. Wait. Want to say it on the count of three? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. One, two, three. Mind's
Mind's
eye.
Eye. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was Discord delay, folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I as soon right before this podcast, like I forgot about it, and then I got a YouTube short about it, and I'm like, oh, I remember
Oh.
now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
I
mess.
remember now. Oh, the GTA killer, huh?
Yeah. It's like, and like you remember when they were showing that game at the Summer Game Fest, I was like, this looks fake. This is not a real game.
So for those that don't know, Mind's Eye, the game that we said was like really boring to look at, pretty cliche in its cinematic story for what the trailer was, and operating on a completely unoriginal idea of just being a third-person shooter GTA clone that had enough hubris where I don't know if the chief executive officer or someone within the studio, I
I think it
forget
was the
who.
director.
Yeah, the director said that Rockstar was suppressing their media presence because they were threatened by Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
And Mind's Eye came out, and Mind's Eye is a game that is easily refundable on PlayStation, which, mind you, to get a refund on console games is kind of a talent
Yeah. So the
because
fact that
they're
they're
a
just giving
little
it
more
away.
strict with the refund policies. Yeah.
Last time that happened, it was fucking like Cyberpunk at launch.
Yeah, Cyberpunk base.
Yeah. And it's like
Yeah, they
no,
were
but like
trying.
you wanna know what the worst part about that game is?
What?
It's like I actually like did watch a couple of like actual like reviews and gameplay videos of it,
Mm.
and it's not about GTA clone.
Mm.
It is a bad Watch Dogs 1 clone.
See, here's the thing. I was thinking of Watch Dogs when I saw it because the whole like motif that it goes for is like Watch Dogs 1. Now, to be fair, Watch Dogs 1 isn't really that bad. No, it's like a boring 7 out of 10 at least, but Mind's Eye doesn't run.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like
So,
like
yeah.
I was watching a review of it, and the reviewer was like, "Yeah, I didn't have like any of the technical issues other people were having, but the game crashed every 30 minutes."
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's
no.
like, okay,
Because
so like either the game breaks or it just crashes. Like you cannot actually play
one
the
of the
game.
things one of the things the PC audience just has over on console on the digital front is just refund policy being much more lenient, whereas in console you have to go out of your way to contact support on like an app or like the website, and then you have to meet some criteria that's similar to this to the place like the Steam stores, but like even then they can be pretty dismissive
Yeah,
on refunding you. When it comes to like hierarchy, like I would imagine like Xbox is probably the easiest of the three. Sony would be like harder, and then I know for a fact because I've tried to refund Nintendo games, it's not ever gonna happen.
yeah.
So
No,
the fact that this game is so bad that they're just like, yeah,
yeah, it's
right
like
away, like barely like an interview esque process. It's like,
yeah, like last time. I mean, like I guess like last time it was a third party game, it was Cyberpunk. But technically, the last time there were like widespread refunds on PlayStation, it was Concord.
true, yeah, yeah. That was also it. The game just has to be genuinely like god awful.
Yeah, and
So
it's like, and like he was, and the reviewer was talking about like the fact that like you okay, so the game is crashing every 30 minutes, and the game doesn't have like mid mission saves. So like if the game closes and you open it up again, you start from the beginning of the mission you were on again. And
this
a lot
is
of the
so funny. Like
and a lot of the cutscenes are unskippable. So like if the game crashes in the middle of a mission, you have to like watch all the cutscenes at the beginning of the mission again.
the audacity to have that much confidence. Then again, the director made that statement which is
Yeah,
not surprising because they didn't account for QA probably telling them, "Hey, you got to do this and this," and they just didn't listen.
yeah. No, it's
Now, to be fair, not entirely the director's fault on like if they push it, like, but like, yeah, no.
yeah. And apparently, like Hitman is in the game, but I haven't seen anyone talk about that because everyone is too busy
You mean
like
Agent
clowning on it.
47?
Yeah,
Oh,
because the game
is
was
it the same
published like
devs? Oh
it,
no,
it was
it's
published
okay.
by.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's
I
not
was
the
like, how
same
could you
devs.
fumble?
The
Like,
developer
how
is
could you
like
fumble that bad?
the developer is like someone called like Build a Rocket Boy, which is also like weird fucking name.
It's not a good one.
Yeah, I like the guys who are making the the what was it the game that looks like Cuphead but 3D. You remember that one? I forgot the name.
Oh yeah. Uh, it was the guy vomiting in the alleyway, and then the devil
Yeah,
pulls him in. The devil's like a goat. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's being made by someone called like She Was a Really Good Horse.
Yeah, I remember that one. We watched it.
And like that, yeah, that's a good name for a studio.
Yeah.
But we all know the best name for a studio is Raw Power.
So it's such a Simpsons episode bit name.
Yeah, it's
Like
like,
Bart would watch that on the TV and he's like, Chronicle Medieval, made by Raw Power Games. Mom, can I get it? And it just that'd be the episode.
and it's like, yeah, I mean, like, do you know that episode of The Simpsons where there is like a golf game?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that game actually exists?
No.
And it's super funny because it's a golf game. Uh, um,
Do they pay for ad space?
um, it's a it's a real game and it's like a licensed golf game. Um, and there is only one player. There is only one golf like there is only one golfer. He's like photo scanned, and there is only one. So there's a multiplayer game. There's a multiplayer mode, and when you're playing multiplayer on the game, it is like the same guy with different color shirts.
Oh my god.
It's amazing.
Oh my god. That's a good joke. I'm sorry, I'm looking at kills. Um
The game is called Golf Magazine presents 36 great holes starring Fred Couples.
that's really funny. That's such a dumb name. That's such a early 2000s like kind of era name.
Yeah, I feel like if you title I feel like if you title something 36 great holes with Fred nowadays, people will think it was something else.
Well, at least Fred's getting a lot done.
Yeah.
That's like I'm not gonna do the math on it. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like it is like one of the I think it came out for like one of those like like in the early 90s where like everyone was trying to like make a console.
Yeah, because the console generation before before the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and like not Xbox 360, but like yeah, the Xbox One and what was it, GameCube? Yeah,
Yeah.
before that we had like a lot of people who would just run for the contender for console.
Yeah,
It would steadily decrease, but yeah.
the game came out for like one of those consoles. Like I think it was the I don't even remember which one it was. If it was the 3DO or the CDI, but it came out for one of those
Yeah.
consoles, and it was like
How many console contenders were during the PS1 era?
during the
There's
PS1
Sony,
era.
Sega. Yeah, Sony, Sega, Nintendo. Who else?
I think it was only like
Was it still three party?
I think it was
That
four
first time we
party.
had three party? Oh, who's the fourth? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was Sony. Oh no, wait, no. I am on the wrong generation. Uh, I need to look at the fifth generation.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was three party.
Yeah, because like before that, that's when we used to have like the crazy amount of just
Oh
randos.
wait, no. That there were actually like like a couple of like other like weird ones around during that time.
Okay, are you including portable or are we talking home console only?
We're talking. I'm talking like that is also the same generation as the Atari Jaguar. So it was like.
Oh, Atari was still running around, yeah.
So it was the Saturn, the PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, and the Jaguar was there, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause you reminded me the Jaguar existed. Okay.
And I guess did you know Apple made a console back then too?
I wouldn't be surprised, but what was it?
It was like a collaboration between Apple and Bandai, and it was
Oh,
called
yeah.
the Pippin. And I don't know how much it sold, or if it even sold at all. It was just like
The Apple
around.
Tippin. I remember this controller.
But
I
yeah, I
do
found
remember
it.
the controller.
I found the number. It sold 42,000 units.
Yeah, no, I remember this being listed as one of the worst controllers on a list. I didn't remember actually seeing the console. This just looks like a glorified VHS player.
But it's an Apple console, and I think you can run Apple II games.
Apple, where you'd want to play your games.
Yeah, I mean they had the chance, but they like fucked it up.
They did. They completely did.
And I feel like at this point it is too late to like try
Oh,
to
far
fix
too
that.
late.
Yeah, like they've been trying to like do a push with like getting like making it easier to like port their games to their systems and like having their
Yeah,
own
because that
version of.
was like 90% of the issue.
Yeah,
Because out of the three main ones, like yeah, it's just like devs went like, okay, yeah, actually going for Mac, the amount of effort that I'd have to go for a Mac and the returns just isn't feasible.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they have like their own version of like they support like ray tracing now, like on their newer chips, and they have like their own version of DLSS. I mean something
Mm.
similar to DLSS. It's not the exact same thing because DLSS is like proprietary to Nvidia.
You're usually not getting a Mac for gaming. Most people who buy
Yeah,
Macs with that sort of thing in mind are thinking about like studio
yeah. The,
stuff and
the problem
design.
with Mac is the like licensing fees because you have to like
Yeah.
every time you submit an application for like review, you need to pay a license, and then every time you submit an update for review, you have to pay a license.
I grew up with both Mac and like Windows, but like at some point it just became evidently like clear. You know what the funny thing is? I think I started off with Macintosh because my dad was a big fan of like Apple as a company, like growing up. But like I started off with Mac, and I will say its UI was pretty clean and was pretty neat. But then like once I moved on to Windows XP, you could just do so much more.
Oh yeah, Windows XP is amazing.
Mm.
Windows XP is a
And
fantastic system.
considering like PCs were just more modular at the time, still even to this day by comparison, it's just like your PC like screw around with it, you would probably get something that would actually work better. And for a kid who wanted to play like flash games and watch YouTube at the same time, it's like yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at this point the only thing that could like make Apple viable would be like something like the thing Steam did for Linux, which is like an automatic compatibility layer.
Mm.
You know, where like you don't actually have to port the game to Linux. Is like
Even
it is like, but like the thing is like Apple is never going to do that because like if they do
even
that,
then,
how are they going to
yeah.
charge licensing fees if they do that?
Even well that and like even it's like also a problem on a marketing brand deal because like its identity is so baked out of being a gamer ecosystem.
Yeah,
Like no one who's looking at a Mac is going, I'm gonna do this for the gaming.
yeah. Did you know you can play
So yeah.
Did you know you can play Resident Evil 4 remake on your iPhone? I
All
don't
the
know why
Macs
you
at
would
school
want
had
to.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, but they've been getting worse ever since. As far as I can tell, Windows was always awful.
No,
And they're supposed to be getting worse. No, XP
Windows
was godlike.
yeah, Windows XP was really good, and Windows 7
Yeah.
was pretty good too.
Windows 7 was fine.
Yeah,
I'll even go so back to say it was good. People were harsh on it back then, but that's how it always goes. But like you
yeah.
move on to 8 and then you're like, "Oh, no, 7 had a lot of compatibility stuff that was actually pretty fine and its updates weren't as terrible as like the others." 10
10 is bad.
worked and as a yeah, 10 well, I mean to be fair like 10 worked for what it was and it would continue, but then as it went on, it just I've never gotten so frustrated before on updates.
Yeah, and 11 is worse. So yeah, like Windows,
Wasn't
like
Vista right after the Vista was like essentially a recall.
it was Windows XP, then it was Windows Vista, and then it was Windows 7. But the thing is, when Windows Vista was so catastrophic that they had to like make a new one immediately. and
To
that
be
is what selling
fair, there
games
was
for.
also the arguments when people actually cared this much about the ecosystems on an argumentative level because the marketing would do it too. Is people would go like, "But malware isn't made for Apple." And it's like, yeah, that's because you're a minority market,
Yeah,
like a luxury market. Well, if you were to try to steal data, why would you hit a smaller demographic? So like, yeah,
yeah. And I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I do remember like I did like use Macs at some point, and it always frustrated me. Like
I liked using both OSs. I thought they were pretty cool in their own ways, but like I understand, like I
like
ended up having my preference for
like
Windows.
they have always been prettier. I will give them that, but like I don't know. It just annoyed me.
Inversely, like I know Linux on paper is a superior customization thing. The three times I've ever ran a distro, I've hated it.
Yeah, I'm
So
way
yeah,
honestly, my current plan is that when I get like in a situation where I can actually invest on like the two PC setup, I'm going to like have one with like running like Windows and like just like with very little stuff in it, just like the video editing and stuff.
yeah.
And my main computer is going to be Linux.
I'm thinking towards that too because like I'm thinking about like having like a computer that's going to be designated for work and then another that's just like personal use, and then the work one could quote unquote have like Steam and stuff, right?
Yeah,
And then just the personal could just be the messenger and stuff. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. It's not something in my wheelhouse right now, but I don't know. Like it's on Windows for completely pushing 11 out the door like it has, and it's just like so bad.
yeah,
So like I'm hoping once Windows 10 end of date finally happens and they see like I hope there's a shift in a market that's noticeable enough where they have to redact and reverse on a lot of their stupid decisions and then try to, because that's the whole point, like that's the whole point of like a semi-competitive market is like be grateful when the lead guy starts losing terribly because he has to get snapped back to his senses.
yeah,
But you never know if it's gonna be enough for like if he'll get back on track. So
yeah. I don't know.
I definitely am not moving back to Mac, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So
and I, like the only like real problems like running games on Linux are like multiplayer games because the anti cheats are the thing that breaks the compatibility layer. And I don't really play multiplayer games,
mm,
so it's fine.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I've seen like the creator of Linux and stuff talk about like the deals they have going on for meshing better with Nvidia and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that works, but like there's a lot that you have to shift on this
Yeah,
before a lot of those things like can be on the limelight, and that's why I'm so hesitant. But I do know people who operate Linux and they make it sound easy and fine. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll test it out when I have to, but probably
yeah.
not
I
anytime
mean,
soon.
it depends on what distro you get because like there are some distros
Yeah.
that are just like
Even then, I'm probably gonna just make it a pseudo Windows machine because I'm so used to that
no, yeah,
UI and everything.
that's what
That's
I
just
mean.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
There are some distros
So
that are designed to like be as painless as
yeah,
possible to transition to. Like they
yeah,
have like the
exactly.
same like
So
interface design and they pepper over a lot of the like they automate a lot of
I guess
stuff like that.
yeah, I guess the other thing is just like the hardware issues or like the old software I have that's more made in line with Windows and nothing else. Like I have my mic setup needs a virtual audio interface, and that virtual audio interface is linked to hardware that's like 15 to 17 years old.
Yeah,
Um, so I could easily imagine it just crumbles. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, like I don't know. Like I remember when tech was fun.
Me too.
I
The
remember when tech
experimentation.
was fun.
I mean, like software, hardware. Like we talked about this before, or actually, no, I don't think we talked about it on the podcast before. I am so sick, and I'm glad that more YouTubers are talking about it. I'm just so sick of like smartphone homogeneity, where
Yeah,
it's just like I miss like the early 2000s, early 2010s, like we're experimenting phone layouts and making phones like fun to see what's going to be it. And like obviously when we found the optimal layout, which was just the touchscreen, it was just maximizing that, but now every phone looks the same.
Yeah,
Um, like the most interesting phones are usually the gimmick ones to me, like the freaking LG Wing or like the Motorola Razors or like
yeah.
something dumb. I want something fun and interesting.
I just want phones to have keys again. Like I actually do miss physical keys.
I think there's still some that came out that are bringing it back. I think there's also like some that have add-on shells, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember Motorola tried, but at that point their name was like so meaningless that like. I mean, no Motorola, BlackBerry. They tried.
The youth the youth of this generation will never know the satisfaction of hanging up on someone with a flip phone. It gives you power.
Yeah. And like there are like multiple ways you can do it, like depending on the style you want. Like
Yeah.
if you're angry or
Yeah.
if you are like asserting dominance, like you can do it in like multiple ways. You can.
Yeah, yeah, it's cathartic. Touchscreen is like, oh, I tap my screen. It's like, that's not satisfying.
And I remember I didn't have like I had one that was like a flip phone, but after that I had one that was like one of the little ones that's like slide up and down,
Video
right?
calls in laptops now, that'd be pretty funny.
Do you remember the ones that were like in the same generation as the generation as flip phones, but instead of
Oh, the sliders?
yeah.
Yeah, sliders were cool.
I,
I had a couple sliders.
I remember I used to have one of those, and I had like I got like the hand movement to make it slide by itself instead of like having to push it. So like
They
whenever
just became glorified like fidget toys, honestly,
yeah
because they were very satisfying to play with.
yeah so like whenever I needed
Yeah.
to so whenever I wanted I had to take a call, I would like do that. I would like do the hand movement to have it slide by itself, like hello.
Yeah, I used to have one of my favorites was like it was like a mini it was kind of like a mini PDA phone. The Kibo 2. It was just like having like a mini laptop with a full ass keyboard that you could use both like your thumbs on, and it was very spacious and nice. Software
Yeah,
was terrible. Like it like slide phones, and that was the one thing that was the reason why people wouldn't be getting like touch phones, is touch phones just were eclipsing the regular like their companions on processing power, because apps were the mainstay cell, so they needed to run that at least better, right?
yeah.
So like your basic like phones like a Motorola or whatever, like their software, their RAM, the amount like allocated to that would be pretty abysmal. So you could see like people getting one over, but smartphones were just way more expensive in comparison to what just seemed feasible, which was like a slider, a flip
This is
phone or whatever.
this is the one I used to have.
That's a pretty cool one.
Yeah,
And so
and like like
yeah.
how and it was very convenient to having like the the music buttons on the outside.
I also remember, because like again, because smartphones weren't winning, is like Apple kind of like, I don't know. Would you say the iPod Touch helped the iPhone market, or did it delay it? Because it
I
was just a cheaper alternative.
I think it helped it
I think it did. I guess it
because
was like
like getting
kind of
people
a pseudo advertising,
getting
yeah,
and
to
it
into
was
that.
like it was like getting people used
Yeah,
to the
and
idea
so
of
like iPod Touch, because iPods were such a regular facet in people, because like the reality is you wouldn't load music onto your phone because like just either storage built-in phones at that time like sliders or flip phones, and then awkwardly putting your earphones, it wouldn't
yeah.
work. iPhones and MP3s were like form factored
I remember
around
it. I
that.
remember my the phone I just showed. It had like I don't like
The what?
16 megabytes of storage.
Yeah, so it just wouldn't be ideal to play music on that, and that's something a lot of people take for granted now,
But
but it's like
it did
since
have
yeah.
an SD card slot, but because of how old it was, like the highest amount of like because like there are limits of how big an SD card can be. Uh,
Yeah.
it only supported SD cards up to 1 gigabyte, so it was very very.
Yeah, cuz like again,
This is the other
like this
one I
stuff,
had.
yeah, it would just it would be a thing that would prioritize calling and texting.
This is the
And
only one I had.
so
Just like sliding up and down.
I don't see it on the stream. Oh wait, hold on. For some reason the stream just, oh yeah, yeah. I had a different one. I had it sliding sideways with a full on keyboard. I
like a
remember the
sidekick.
BlackBerry Torch. Yeah, yeah. I remember the BlackBerry Torch was like one of the ones I wanted because it was like actual vertical and it looked nice. And then I heard the BlackBerry Torch was like one of the worst BlackBerry models. Um,
Oh, you know what?
but yeah,
You know what? Another phone I had that I really liked.
what?
Let me see if I can remember the model.
Well, while you remember that, I'm just gonna go on my point. It's just like, yeah, so you wouldn't put music on your phone, so you would have a dedicated MP3 player. Most people would be an iPod. Even then, iPods were expensive, but you would have like bootleg shit. I'd have an MP4. It'd be called an MP4, and then you could play video format on it at like 15 frames per second, and it was pretty dog
Yeah,
shit. But it was
and
like, oh,
they
I
all
can put
came.
my
They all came with like NES emulators too, like built in.
yeah, they did, and some of them kind of looked cool. Like honestly, I do remember liking the MP4 player design way back in the day,
Yeah,
and
I had one that was shaped like kind of like a PSP, but like way
that's pretty
smaller.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I see. Here's the problem. If I Google MP4, I'm sure like not the format. Even if I go MP4 like player, I'll just get like a bunch of new sleek models that are trying to recreate that feel rather than the actual thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, so you would just have like that. So MP3 players were still like a mainstay in people's like sort of tech usage, and it would usually be an iPod. So the iPod Touch came out, and I guess it was just like as Candy does like uh, correctly assert is just like it was the sort of people dipping their toes into getting into touch phones because it had its entire app usage. Tablets weren't out yet.
yeah. No, but
So you
like
would listen to your music, you would watch videos, you would do a bunch of stuff on it. So
for a very long time, this was my main music player. This like little like Sony MP3 player.
yeah, you go ahead, show it. Hold on, Twitch is showing me ads. I'm gonna find mine if I can even remember what it. No, none
For
of these look like mine.
and the thing is, like back then, stuff was meant to last. Like this thing survived like 10 years. I
Oh
stopped.
yeah, durability on like those builds was like insane.
I stopped using it because I got like an actual smartphone with like and like a 64 gigabyte SD card. So I was like, yeah, I can put my music here now. So I stopped using it because of that, not because it broke. And then I guess after some years on storage, the battery died.
Oh yeah, you had one of those. I had friends who had one of those.
I guess after some years on storage, the battery died. But like, but like I didn't stop using it because it broke. I stopped using it because I got a smartphone.
Yeah, no. At some point, smartphones just became the standard. My first smartphone, I think, was the Huawei that was available at the time.
You know, look, this is the
And
phone.
yeah.
This is probably like my favorite phone I ever had. It was so much fun. Why is it so big?
Oh, that's cute.
And the thing about you see these like little like things on the side, those like little four like things on the side. Uh,
Yeah.
those were like colored LEDs, and they would like dance with the music. Like if you were playing music on it, like the little like LEDs would like you know on and off. It was super fun, just fucking around with it.
That's cute. Yeah, I can't find mine. It's been so long ago.
I remember this was the first time I had a phone with like Bluetooth on it, and I was like, wait, I can send photos to my friends. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I
Without
forget.
a cable. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember like the first. I remember, man. There was the time where the iPod Touch was out, and like all the major sites were still struggling to put out apps for it. So you'd have to like use browsers built in. Those were some wild days.
Ironically, at this point, I have reverted to that because apps kind of suck, so I kind of
Mm.
have reverted to like using the browser on my phone for everything.
Well, sometimes they're just like better app alternatives, like for YouTube or for Twitter or for. I don't use Twitter, but I know for YouTube because Dura keeps on talking about Vanced
Yeah.
and yeah.
You remember, like, I remember, I think I was like in, how old was I? I think I was like 12. So I think I was in like
Hmm.
8th grade. I remember like back when, like, do
Yeah.
you remember when Fruit Ninja came out?
Oh, I remember when Fruit Ninja came out. That was like all the rage on like iPod touches.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, yeah. It was
everyone wanted an iPod just to play Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, and that was like a little after that was the start of like rhythm games being a big thing on touchscreen
Yeah,
on apps. And like it just watching it, you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of like the perfect home for it. So yeah.
yeah. And then and then companies started hiring people from like casinos and games on phones became shit.
Well, wasn't just that. That was when like the phone industry started affecting the game industry because then every shareholder was like, you should just make a mobile companion app or you should just focus on mobile games because that's the future of gaming.
Yeah,
And I'm so glad that that timeline has been rejected thoroughly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when GTA 5 came out, like they had an application and like downloading that application was the only way to train your dog in the game.
Oh really? I remember I remember the Fallout 76 one. I remember Sleeping Dogs 2 wanted to make one and then Sleeping Dogs 2 like fell through.
Yeah.
I think Deus Ex had one.
Oh yeah, they
Like
had one.
Mankind of
They
yeah,
had one.
Mankind divided.
And the funny thing about that one is that when the game got ported to the Wii U, that was what they put on the screen. The functionality of that app.
Wow. That's funny. And yeah, no, companion apps are just kind of dead. I can't really think of too many companion apps that were good. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
It was just like a dumb idea.
Mhm.
And
you know,
it's the same
yeah.
it's the same problem as the Wii U itself. And that is that like constantly looking down to another screen on your hand is not a fun way to play games.
Well, you could there are things you could have done, but it's like there are just some properties that never utilized it because like you find it fun like find it funny because like when you think about it, Pokemon Go has no actual compatibility with Pokemon. You can't move your
Oh
Pokemon
yeah,
Go Pokemon to your console Pokemon,
oh
which
yeah.
makes it inane. But I guess it makes sense. It would completely like cut down the playtime of the actual game. So I suppose you could make an argument that it's competing with itself. But
The
it's
thing,
like you should
but
still
like
make incentives. Like,
the thing is like
what are you doing?
Nintendo did actually try to do something similar. I
Mm.
remember like back when the Gold and Silver remix came out for
Are
the
you talking about the
DS.
pedometer? I was about to talk about the
Yeah,
pedometer. Yeah. So the
I
thing is,
always
I was
wanted
thinking
one
is
of
like,
those. I always
oh, I
wanted one
had
of
one of
those.
those. They were golden. Because my brain was just like, if you're just gonna have a companion app, bring back the Heart Gold Soul Silver pedometer. You're like encouraging like health again. It's a
Yeah,
passive way to like XP build for your Pokemon.
yeah,
Yeah. I kind of liked companion hardware more than I liked companion apps.
yeah. I in that sense, I guess like the
Yeah.
GTA 5 app kind of makes sense because in the game
Mm.
you can invest on like the fake stock market inside of the game, and you can
Mm.
like
I
check
didn't
that on
really
the
care that
app.
much.
You can like check that on the app and be like,
Is that for
oh.
the multiplayer?
I think in the single player you can do it too. I don't remember. And
Okay. I
the
mean,
app isn't alive.
yeah.
Like the app isn't around anymore. Nobody uses that. Like that died
Yeah.
long ago.
Cause like I mean to be fair, like I'm one of those people who didn't give it like didn't care about GTA Online at all. I just
Yeah,
played the campaign and then I just kind of moved on.
yeah, I didn't even finish the campaign. Like I don't know. I found the gameplay of GTA like kind of like, eh,
The only time I ever played GTA Online was with Dura, and the instant we went in, a hacker with a 20-foot tank chased us down into a thrift store and killed Dura before my eyes, and I hid behind the counter because that was where I was safe from their flamethrower, and he wouldn't come out because he knew that if he did, I could shoot him. So he just kind of drove away, and Dura's like, "Did you die?" I'm like, "No, I just am looking at your corpse." That was it.
oh yeah, like the thing is like when GTA 5 came out on PC, uh, because I never had a console, so I had to wait for that. Um,
Yeah, it was pretty bad on the last gen consoles of the time. Like if you bothered to get one on PS3 or Xbox 360, it's like, oof, boy.
yeah, but like when GTA 5 came out and on PC, I remember like, but that time I had already like 100%. I mean, like not 100% it because it's actually like impossible to 100% Just Cause 2.
Mm.
But like moving from Just Cause to like GTA was like, wow, I cannot do anything.
Well, yeah, because just cause his identity ended up becoming like this wacky thing where you could just like grapple hook everywhere and just like do a lot of insane stuff like simultaneously.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
and it is like actually like impossible to like 100% just cause 2 because there is like a single destructible thing that they forgot to put in the map.
that's pretty funny.
So you're always stuck at like 99.99% completion.
The ultimate edging.
Yeah, there is like a single like I think it's a water tower. There is like one water tower missing from the map, and because you cannot destroy that water tower because it is missing from the map, you can never beat the game. I mean, you can beat the story, but you can never 100% the game.
That's rough. I feel bad for any sort of achievement hunter that just kind of.
Yeah, like you. Like I imagine you playing that game and being like, oh,
Oh, I wouldn't. I don't. Here's the thing. I think the like. Okay, I do achievement hunt when I think the game deserves it, quote unquote, or out of spite. I platinumed DMC2 out of spite. I platinumed Devil May Cry reboot out of spite because my brain is there to go. If I complain about this game and someone told me you're just hating on it, you're probably not good at it, or something like you didn't give it a chance, I'm like, I platinum both. Cease.
yeah,
Yeah. But like with open world games, it is such trophy hunting is like get ready to just be miserable.
yeah. Get re-
I think yeah,
get ready for the next marathon on Nick's on Nick's Twitch channel. Nick 100% every Assassin's Creed game.
I did an Assassin's Creed marathon once in my life. I'm good. I told I remember my friend and I were talking about this and she was deeply upset. I don't she's like the only woman I could possibly know that gives a damn about Assassin's Creed. It's I find her a fascinating case study
Is she hot?
of she is, but she's a loser. So like it
Oh, so
balances
she's
out.
perfect for me introduce her.
She's straight.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry. I would. I think. Well, would I? No. Here's the thing. I would like you because usually. All right. Here's the thing. When I'm the reason why I'm hesitant to introduce one friend to another friend, I'm always worried like if one doesn't like the other, and then I love my friends very much,
Yeah,
and one of
being
the
being
things like
being in the middle of like drama.
being in the middle of that, and also just like if I had a friend and I introduced them to my other friend, and then I hear them smack talk that friend in front of me, I would get angry very fast.
Yeah.
Um, so like usually that worry would happen if I introduced if she was gay and I introduced her to you, all fears of her embarrassing herself in front of you and you embarrassing yourself in front of her would just be gone because I'm like they're just two stooges. They would just both be idiots. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to. The only drawback would be is the both of you talking to me at the same time would probably drive me insane. But that's about it. What was I talking about? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she went because I do platinum some of my games that I really care about. Like again, I've platinum like maybe 23 out of like a library of 300 PlayStation games because a lot of those games I just don't care about that way. And she was just like, well, are you gonna get all the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2? I'm like, oh god, I can't remember. I did it the first time. I forget why I did. No, I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not gonna make Ezio go out of his way to get feathers. It's like, but if you don't do it, your mom's gonna like just sit there in the corner being silent because of post-traumatic stress disorder because your younger brother died. I'm like, hey, bitch, guess what? She gets over it in Brotherhood, regardless of if I do it or not.
Yeah.
She'll be fine.
Which is like,
Popping out that disc, I don't care.
uh, and you know what? If she doesn't want to talk, that's not my problem.
That's not my problem. Let her grieve my brother in peace. She'll
Yeah.
get over it. She'll get over it. You know how I know she gets over it? She gets over it in the sequel. It doesn't transfer a save and go, you didn't collect all the feathers. Your mom's gonna be stunned forever. No.
Yeah.
She surprisingly gets over it. She gets over it only to have like I think her brother-in-law just like get horribly murdered, which is pretty funny. But like that's Ezio's life, a cacophony of bad.
Yeah. And fucking younger women. He does that a lot.
I mean that happens in every like fucking Hollywood-esque story.
Like that was always like the weirdest part of Revelations for me. It's like he can like
Yeah, he does marry a woman who's like 20 years young. Well, to be fair, it's like ye olden days.
yeah.
And that's not uncommon. Not by any means. The weirder one
And I guess
is when you're doing the Da Vinci DLC and he has his little boy toy Salieri. And even Ezio's like, yeah, you're just Salieri's friend. And Da Vinci's just like, eh.
I mean, but like I guess like that's different because that was like real.
Yeah, yeah.
That
But
actually
I
happened.
think it's also because like as they had a juxtaposition of, well, I mean, like, one, it's common to happen in that timeline, like that era, but also the juxtaposition of, we want to make Ezio old and gruffled, but he still has to have a kid so the lineage like lives on, even though, let's be real, Ezio probably had a bunch of bastard children. Like, there's no questioning, the man was a man whore. So
Yeah,
yeah, because like even in Revelations, the whole point is that one guy that's sitting on the rock who is there with you is like, oh yeah, I'm like a distant cousin of yours because I'm also descended from Ezio, but not Altair. It's like, okay, yeah, you're probably one of Ezio's bastard kids, like kids
yeah. But like,
descending or
how does
whatever.
that work? Because like, isn't Ezio supposed to be like a descendant of Altair? So if you're a descendant of Ezio, you are a
No,
descendant of
he's
Altair.
not a descent. No, he's not a descendant of Altair.
Okay, so he's like from another
Desmond.
like.
No, yeah, no,
No, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Desmond
yeah,
isn't.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
realized that.
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
The
I
question becomes like, how did that bloodline get to like
I never paid much attention to the
rotten
I
con?
like back when I played Assassin's Creed games. I think I stopped on 3. Uh,
Mm.
I never paid much attention to the like modern day story because I thought it was super
Yeah, no, it's
fucking
pretty bad.
stupid.
I think like the moment Ezio has with like Altair is pretty cool, but like where he's like talking about, I don't know why I find like camaraderie to a person you've never met but you've heard their tale a very interesting and human thing, because like
Yeah,
Ezio brushes off like the apple from Altair's like skeleton and is like, thank you my brother, like that's such an unnecessary line, but it's just like, yeah, that's kind of a human thing in that sort of condition
yeah,
of just like, I've been following your tale and so you seem like a figure in my life. But it's like, you're right, the modern story it just never holds up. I think the only character that I like is the hot brunette with short hair, but she's like a vegan, so that's like 9 to a 6. So
yeah. It's like, oh, so she's annoying.
yeah,
No, like
yeah,
I don't know, like it's crazy because like back when I played Assassin's Creed, it was like like the original ones. Like I stopped at 3, uh, and I hated the modern day story. So it's crazy looking
no,
back.
it's fair.
It is crazy looking back and hearing from people and like realizing that back when like Desmond was alive, that was when that story was at its best. Like
Yeah,
that
no,
back
you wanna
back
know
then the story
how
was
they
actually good.
know? Hey, do
It
you
was
want to
crazy.
know that even Ubisoft agrees with you because they floundered? So I've mentioned it before. They killed one of the biggest antagonists in the game in a spin-off comic. Second, they went to a first-person perspective protagonist for the next 2 games, cut that out. Then they went and threw in a new protagonist. She was like a person of color woman. Um, and then they were like, "Oh, people don't like her, so let's have her talk to Desmond's ghost in the Animus and talk about time travel, so we can go back to Desmond so he doesn't die."
Wee time travel.
Which is just the admittance of, oh, this story is just so irreversibly fucked that you people just probably want to follow Desmond. Which is also funny because they hint at another guy who's running around in their timeline right now and making it sound like they're gonna follow him. He's like, what does it matter? You're gonna reverse time anyway. What does he
Yeah,
have to do with anything? I have no attachment to him.
and I also heard that they have gotten like kind of crazy with like the mythology stuff. Like I remember I was here.
Well, it's animus glitches, but then it's like debatable on whether or not actually real.
Yeah, no, like
Kinda.
I remember I was hearing something talking about Valhalla, and he was like, yeah, so it turns out the protagonist is Loki, and he was like, what?
Yeah, yeah. So apparently, like, well, no. Okay. Here's what happens. Remember, Candy, that gods are actually like the first civilization people. They just use those names.
Yeah,
So you know how Minerva and Juno are there? There's another sect of the ancient civilization people that are just Norse mythology
yeah.
gods. So he's not really our Loki, but he's kind of Loki, but he's not really Loki. And he's just like one. I don't care. Why do I know Assassin's Creed lore? I just need a lobotomy. I just want to be done. I'm not happy. I'm
Yeah.
deeply unhappy. I'm deeply unhappy. I know all of this. This is wasted brain space.
And like I keep complaining like that was like the biggest like wasted like potential in terms of like if they just like completely cut out like the mythology thing and like and like the modern day thing and just like made a series of games of like stealth action games set on like different like historical like
Yeah,
locations,
it'd
it
be
would have been
fun.
like super
It'd be
fun.
solid. They're doing too much at once,
Yeah.
and
It's like
this
yeah,
is
it's like yeah, we have this fun game about like exploring like cities on the Renaissance on like historical cities and stuff like that. What if we also had like aliens? What if we also had like conspiracy theories and like lizard people and like it's like can I just like go back to like Italy and like do the funny thing in Italy, please?
Ubisoft just also just lies too, because they're just like they'll talk about stuff like they'll have like Assassin's Creed Syndicate with a fully playable female character, and then they'll have Assassin's Creed Odyssey and it's like the first time you can play as a woman,
Yeah.
and then
I
also they
I
go
I,
like
I did
Origins.
I did kind of like wait something crashed. What the
No,
fuck?
Cassandra's cool. Cassandra's cool.
Oh no, OBS no, don't leave me
I can
OBS.
still, I can still hear you, and the stream is still going.
Okay, so I'm not going to because there is a message saying the UI is not responding. Would you like to turn and close the program? I am not going to click anything. If it's still
Okay, good.
if it's still streaming, I'm not going to click anything.
Okay, fair, fair. Cassandra is fine as a protagonist. I actually like her. She's actually the better option than her brother.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Odyssey. I haven't seen anything about Odyssey, so I don't know
Mhm.
anything about her. But I was going to say, like the girl from Syndicate, I like her.
Oh, Evie? Evie's great. You know how Evie's based? She ends up with a brown man, which we should we should make.
You're
Which we should
projecting. You're projecting.
what? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I think we should just like have that as an option for women in media more. Is they just... um
Yeah,
yeah, no, like
we need more
mhm.
lesbian romances and more brown man romances.
More brown man moments is yeah.
And you know
Just
what?
throw
More
me in
brown
here.
lesbian romances too.
More brown. Yeah, let's go. Let's let's. Uh,
No, but I do
but
remember like I thought she was cute and I thought she was funny.
I think her design is actually really good, and I think she's a very good foil for her brother. Like those two as protagonists are fine. I'll say like also just like the again on the Ubisoft line is like and all like Origins is the first game in the timeline. Oh, it's Odyssey. Like stop taking back things.
Yeah,
Why did you say things when you're just going to overtake
I
it?
mean
I don't.
that's because they don't have anyone doing anything. Like
Also, I'm gonna just say it. Like, is Odyssey really? Did you need to name it Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Like, couldn't you just call it Odyssey and make the big reveal that it's set in the Assassin's Creed universe? Is you're not even an assassin. And I
yeah,
know someone got really upset when I mentioned this because she was like really mad. He's like, actually, you don't know this, but like Cassandra becomes the most important assassin because she's the one who starts the assassin bloodline. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be real with you. If I cured cancer and I'm getting my award and my grandpa is in the stage and he stands up was like, "You're welcome for creating the cure. I was the one whose nut created the nut that created him. And thus,
I
I
get the
cured
credit.
cancer." I'd be like, "I'm not curing my grandpa's cancer."
I'm not shooting yours, Grandpa. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not cure accessible to everyone, but you fuck up.
Uh, I think the thing about 4 is that you are not an assassin in 4, but there are assassins, like actual assassins, like
No,
already.
you're an assassin in 4. By a technicality, you're an assassin in 4.
Uh, but like
You steal the man's garbs
yeah,
and then you associate with assassins, and then by the end you go with their creed. To be fair, yes, but for the entire playable time you aren't. But like
yeah, but I
your
think it's
air
different.
quotations are.
I think like even if by the end you didn't become an assassin, I think it would be different than Odyssey because
Oh
like
yeah,
there
no,
are assassins.
because
They're around.
Edward's story is the best Assassin's Creed story hands down.
No, and also
It
like
is like Yeah,
it clearly is an Assassin's Creed game because there are assassins like already, like they exist
yeah, true,
as a unified as a new, well, I don't know, but like they exist as an organization
true.
already.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, you aren't one, but you are one, but you aren't one, because like, yeah,
No.
you technically, the reason why you technically are one is just because Edward saw a dead assassin and went like, "I'm gonna steal this man's drip and his whole flow," and that was it.
I'm a I'm a steal your trip. I'm a steal your wife.
I'm gonna steal your flow, and I'm gonna. It's like, but are you an assassin? No, no, no. I don't do religion anymore. I'm just in it for the money. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're real, Edward. You're
Yeah.
real.
My favorite
Edward
part.
has some of my favorite. Yeah.
My favorite part of Assassin's Creed is that part on 2 where you play as Altair's not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Desmond has like a flashback, like a panic flashback, and then he pictures himself as a sperm penetrating like his great etc. grandmama's
No,
eggs.
it is like you have a flashback on a dream, and you're playing as
Yeah,
Altair,
yeah.
and you're playing as Altair, right? And you
No,
meet
it's just
with
an actual flashback because he has to save his wife from the castle.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you
and then they bed.
yeah, and then they
Yeah.
bed, and then the camera pulls away, and you're stuck
And
on
then you
like
see like a black and white like sperm thing, I think, if I
yeah,
remember right.
and the camera pulls away, and you're like instead of following Altair, you are stuck on like Maria's tummy.
Yeah, yeah.
And but like
Because
the thing
that's
is like,
your
the thing is like I have to wonder, did the camera actually stop following Altair, or were you actually always following that sperm? But because the sperm was in Altair, you know
Oh
like you
yeah, I
were
think
following
people have
Altair.
also mentioned that. Yeah, it's really funny. It's just like, oh, the animus is remembering you being the nut in there. It's just like, okay.
So I
It's
guess
also crazy that the animus can project memories to that early of a degree
yeah.
because that has to imply the actual like conscious sentience of a singular sperm. Like that's
What
wild.
you heard it you heard it first, folks. Assassin's Creed is anti-abortion.
I knew I was gonna like I wanted to maybe brush on it, like maybe not my place to say it, but yeah,
No,
yeah.
I
I
don't know.
don't.
Like it's a joke because I don't think there is a point of on attributing like any like political stance to a story people very clearly didn't even think about.
You know. No, I just meant for like any discomfort.
Yeah. No, it's like I remember like did you know that like okay, so you know how like before WoW there were 3 strategy games set on the Warcraft universe, right?
Okay, yeah.
Uh did you know that like and of course like the story starts like they have like a connected lore, like all of those games are like direct sequels to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like the lot of like the current story on WoW like goes back all the way to like the first Warcraft game and stuff like that.
I'm aware a bit about that. From a friend who did play. Yeah.
Uh, did you know that like they didn't actually have a script for like the first Warcraft game? So when they got when they got the guy who was supposed to be the narrator, he just like ad libbed like winged it. He just improvised.
Oh, that's cool.
So like all of the lore on the Warcraft universe was like improvised by a guy in 1995.
Yeah, like he just irrevocably changed the entire gaming landscape in terms of storytelling,
Yeah,
and he
he
didn't
just
even know it. He was doing improv real fast.
yeah, he's like okay, so yeah, we and you know like props to him, like
No, that's
that's
dope. That's
very
really cool.
very creative brain, like very like being able to come
Yeah.
up with the stuff like on the spot about like the orcs and the humans and like the war and stuff like that. It's like okay, like on the
I
spot,
was gonna
like over there, like impressive.
I was gonna add the last tidbit of Assassin's Creed is Connor has my favorite design, but God, what a letdown of a game. Although
Connor is 3, right?
he's a three, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Ratun Kuta. Like he his robes are like the nicest. His design, his playstyle actually had like consultation of like Native Americans and how they would have done war
yeah.
with like
I,
tomahawks and stuff, which was really cool.
I
But
also I also think he has the
yeah,
coolest hidden blade. With like his hidden
yeah, he
blade can
does.
like twist and like turn into a dagger.
Yeah,
Like I
and
thought that was
I
very
just
cool.
I think he's genuinely the coolest looking one. I do think he's like one of the stupidest characters in that entire franchise. However, I do loop back and do think I can get behind a guy whose entire motive is I'll kill the white man. That's just the it's so fun. The fact that his reveal at the end of the game is the raid on his village that ended his mom's life. He thought it was Charles Lee. He finds out it's Washington. He finger wags at not Washington and says, "We aren't friends, but I'm still gonna kill Lee." And he hunts down Lee because Lee like choked him out and then spat on him when he was younger and called him like filth or whatever. And then Connor's like, "Oh, racist white man." He carried that grudge for like decades.
And he's like, no, 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 I will not admit I'm wrong. I will kill him anyway.
I will kill him anyway. He follows Lee to an old shack where they both take a swig of ale, and then he stabs them. And they're both exhausted, and he's like, "I did it. I killed Lee." I'm like, was this really everything you ever needed? Connor, you killed your own father. I will say Connor also has like one of the most interesting like fights because he has to kill his own dad, and his own dad is just like, "I'm not going to apologize for what I did, but I will wonder what would have been if things were different."
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Maybe he even like rejected that, but they had a really interesting dynamic. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was one of those times where it's like a game starts off with a group of characters, and then you do the missions, and then you find out they're the entire antagonist for the rest of the game, which was a cool idea.
Yeah, yeah,
But
like
yeah,
that is the thing. Like I found like the story on 3 so disappointing because there were so many interesting ideas you could have used like from them, but they didn't
yeah,
actually
it
go
sets
anywhere.
up a lot of cool stuff at the start, and then it just kind of flounders, and also like takes way too long to get anywhere. It's not even like they were necessarily rushed. It's like you could have shortened the amount of time of like Connor's youth where you were just doing random bullcrap and use that time for like other interesting like pacing. But yeah.
Yeah, and
But
I
that's it
feel
for
like
the
they were
Assassin's Creed talk.
I feel like they were
Go
just
ahead.
like too they were too concerned like and I think like that was the thing that like broke me when it comes to like engaging with Assassin's Creed. It was like, oh, we're
Mm-hmm.
doing 2012. Oh, we're doing 2012.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about the 2012 plot. That's the entire.
And it's
Yeah, yeah.
like what if you just drop the 2012 thing and focus on like making an independent story about Connor and his dad? Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be cool? I think it would be cool.
It could be, but they didn't do it. And then four kind of actually ended up working really well, and then
And then
Unity.
they made Skull and Bones.
Oh my god, that means. I also just hate Unity on its story level. I think it does look beautiful, but like, oh my god. And then
And
Syndicate was
what's
fine.
her name? Elise. She's really odd.
She is, but they're the most. They have as much chemistry as like. No, they tell me they're the couple that tells me they're in love, and I think they're trying to tell themselves that they're in love. Like
Yeah,
I
they're
don't care.
yeah.
Like
You know what like if they were born nowadays, they would be like the couple who is always happy in Instagram, but they never actually talk to each other.
like because the thing is,
That
here's one of the
kind
things
of
I've
couple,
yeah,
the ones that
I
are
know
always like
exactly the
posting
couple
like
you're talking about. Yeah, and then you see them together and they're kind of bizarrely quiet, and you're like, oh, okay. Um, one of my least one of my nitpicks or like pet peeves on writing when you're trying to establish a bond is when two characters just go remember that time and then they give like a brief interchange, like an exchange of it,
yeah,
and it's just like the writing thing of if you're not if the current thing you're showing me isn't the most interesting thing in their lives right now, why aren't you showing me the most interesting things like
yeah.
right then? Why aren't you showing me a flashback? It's budget, of course, it's 100% budget, but it's also just the idea like, yeah, so now you get a feel for their chemistry. It's like, no, you could have naturally conveyed that in their dialogue.
And also like their fucking meet cute is so weird. It's like, hey, do you want to commit a crime for me? Steal that apple.
Yeah.
Oh, your dad is dead. Well, anyway, I'm leaving.
I just think I think she's kind of a.
But
I'm
she's
not
hot
even
though.
gonna solely blame her. I think she's like a not interesting character, but to be fair, so is her boyfriend. Like Arno is also kind of fucking lame. So like whatever on Unity.
I think my favorite character in that game is the fucking old man you beat on the prison.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about. He's just kind of like he's got that shitting grin and that. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of like the what is it, Jack from Vampire the Masquerade. As soon as you escape your execution, well, I mean, as soon as you're pardoned from your execution and he's out in the alley, he's like, "Ha ha, you lived." Just like that grimy energy is like, "Yeah, I lived,
Yeah,
Jack. I did."
and I don't know, like I feel like when it comes to like male characters, my favorite archetype is the dude who is just like angry and tired.
Angry and tired. We've complained about tired characters though a lot.
Yeah, but like I don't know, that particular brand of just like Don of that guy, I really like that.
I can kind of see it. I don't know what my favorite type of character. I like a variety of just male characters. I think I like ones with the like light sardonic wit or just like
Yeah,
yeah. I definitely. I mean, we both talked about this. I think I've gotten so sick of Quippy.
yeah,
I've got so sick of Quippy. You're not cute.
yeah. I
Just
feel
know when
like
to not talk.
I feel like Whippy like can work when you're using it as like explicitly like in the text it is like something the character is doing as like a cover for like the insecurities and stuff, and you like
Yeah, yeah,
and you explore that as like yeah they're doing that because they are afraid of like letting their emotions come out and stuff like that. It's like okay.
yeah. No, there's a thing in Tactical Breach Wizards where the main antagonist is kind of like that, but she's everyone kind of just calls her out on it and is like, yeah, no, this is just proving that you're insecure. Cause like you're so used to like manipulating time, but the problem is you suck at arguments because you have to wait for the other person.
Yeah.
And like she is so adamant in trying to be like girl boss, but it's just like whatever. I'm gonna put you in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's
um,
so
you know
fun.
you know
Yeah.
another thing Unity does, because I actually did play a little bit of Unity when that came out. uh
Mm-hmm. I
an-
finished Unity for God, fuck.
Another thing Unity does that is like I don't know who keeps telling game developers this, but like I don't want to play as a child. I don't care.
Yeah, you play as Arno as a kid. I'd rather that would have been a cutscene.
I don't want to play as a child.
Okay, that's supposed to be a connecting point between Assassin's Creed Rogue, where the protagonist from Rogue kills your papa. Now, all of you asking, does Arno get revenge on the guy who kills his dad? No,
No,
he gets.
he's too busy blowing up Lisbon.
Who's the fucking? Was the old guy in the prison the final antagonist, or was it some other fucking chucklehead?
I don't know. I never finished that game.
I played that game. I forgot. Final antagonist, AC Unity. I want to say it was. It might have been. No, wait. It was. It was Jermaine. Right.
Hmm. Like
Right.
Rogue is another part where
Rogue's
it's like
interesting in story because you're the Templar. You're an
yeah,
assassin tired of the lifestyle and you're on the opposite faction. It's an
yeah,
interesting
and like
idea.
there is like some interesting like things you can do with that story, especially with like
Because you, yeah,
the part where they destroy Lisbon and the assassins think they're justified in doing that because they obtained like something, and
exactly.
it's like,
It's it's
but they
it's
never do
the
anything else with that.
yeah, it's the demonstration of hey, guess what? Any ideology in like to an extreme is dangerous. We can wax poetic about us being heroes, but what war crimes have the assassins probably done that they're just probably trying to romanticize and keep
Yeah,
undercover?
and it's like they could like
So, yeah.
they could like they could have kept exploring that, but they didn't.
They didn't
They just
because the
didn't.
assassins are actually extremely noble because of course when you go into utmost freedom it's not like you get anarchy or anything.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't know who these writers are.
it's not like having two cults fighting over the future of mankind. Is like unarguably bad whoever wins.
Two extremely binary codes that just won't overlap in any sort of way. It's not like you would have a horrible, extreme dictatorship that would just like destroy independence and freedom if you chose Templar. No, 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 no. And if you chose like assassin, I mean, like we'd never have anarchy. I promise you.
Yeah, but they never do that because I feel like I feel like I, I feel like Assassin's Creed has never had like a guy whose job is just like make sure like there's like a consistent story
Yeah,
because a lot of like
I
long
think they
running
do
series.
technically. Okay, I think they do for the. I think the problem is they do it in reverse on their priority. They do for the modern story, but since like there are different historical periods, they only do some blank connections.
Yeah,
But they don't
because
think of the overall themes that kind of go there.
yeah because a lot of like long running series have a guy who is like the lore master, and
Hmm.
his job is to like keep consistent themes and like consistent story over like the entire series. And when you have a guy who knows all that stuff, you can like keep a track of like themes you might want to explore and like but mm, but who has time for that? Who has time for that?
Yeah.
Who has time for that? We have another fucking sexual harassment lawsuit to settle.
I'm trying to honestly think of like
You know what's weird now that I think
more
about it?
shit from AC Unity. Yeah. What?
There hasn't been a Far Cry game in a while.
I think Far Cry also got it burnt out in people caring. I don't think
Yeah.
people care as much anymore. I feel like because we had like quite a few, but
Yeah,
like
because but like the thing is like it's like Far Cry 6 was so astonishingly bad because I actually did play I did play a little bit of Far Cry 6
is
and
that the
this
one with Gus from Breaking Bad?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and it is so astonishingly bad that I'm honestly like I wouldn't surprise me if it actually just straight up killed the series.
I
Because
wouldn't
like
be either.
because I
I don't think
feel
I.
like
Yeah.
people don't respect Ubisoft enough to like differentiate when one of their games is like horrifyingly like actually straight up bad. But like Far Cry 6 is like genuinely one of the worst games I have ever played.
Yeah. I don't. I never played Far Cry. It wasn't really in my wheelhouse.
I did
But I
like
do know
5 actually.
people who played them, and it's just like nothing ever hit the highs of praise that they did for 3. I remember 4
Oh
being
yeah.
perfectly fine and them kind of enjoying some of the characters. Like I think that pink suited guy they found charismatic a bit.
Yeah.
And then is 5 the one with the twins
Uh
in America, or is that a
yeah,
side game?
5 is the one. 5 is the one in America, yeah.
Yeah, and then
5 was
I heard
fun.
no one.
5 was okay.
I just heard no one talk about 6.
No, because it is so bad.
Hmm.
it has like the progression system of a multiplayer shooter. It is like and it has like loot rarity. It's like it's a fucking gun. What do you mean loot rarity? It's a fucking MP4. It's a fucking MP5. It's a fucking AK. What do you mean loot rarity? You either have an AK or you don't have an AK. That's why the progression that's why the progression works on the other games. It's like, hey, you leveled up, you unlock the AK, and it's like, okay, I have the AK. Cool. It's like how do you fucking like color code rarity a fucking AK-47? Like, what is the difference?
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I was just looking at some of these characters from AC Unity, and it most of it is ejected from my mind. Like I still have the VODs. I do
Yeah.
want to edit something for an AC video, but like, oh my god, this has left my mind. Okay, enough about AC. Let's talk about our weeks. You go first.
Yeah. How did we get into like an hour
We're
of
very
basically
tangential.
conversation? Yeah.
Yeah, we're very tangential.
Uh, how was my
Ladies
week?
first. Yeah.
Uh, I've been busy as usual. I've been busy lately, trying to like fix a lot of stuff in my real life. It's been messy.
Okay, that's
But,
fair.
we're chugging along. We're chugging along. I actually did stream this week, a couple of days. We are
Let's
make
go.
I actually managed to get 2 endings, 2 out of 100.
Yeah. What? What?
Yeah, that game genuinely has 100 endings. and I got 2.
Oh my
Yay!
god. Oh my god.
Like it was great. I don't remember like I remember when I got like the first ending I got, it showed like it showed like a number, and it was like ending number 88, and it was like, oh.
I mean, a lot of them are probably going to be situations where you have to quick save and make a dialogue choice or something, I'd imagine.
You don't need to do that. The game actually has like which is something I really appreciate. It has like a flowchart
Oh,
showing all
cool.
that shows like all the like decision points, and you can like, and you can go to like
load
chapter
back to the
select.
previous and then
You can go to
yeah,
chapter
okay, that's
select and
pretty
like
good.
select like any choice and like just like branch out from there. It's very
That
convenient.
does help it a lot. I mean, it would
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, I'm still rotating my saves just in case, but like I haven't needed to any so far.
Fair.
Listen, if the game is going to give me 100 save slots, I'm going to use all 100 save slots. I don't give a fuck.
No, that's valid. No, rotate your saves. This is the smartest thing you can do. Always rotate your saves, especially if you record footage or you do streaming. Rotate your saves.
Yeah. No, and okay, so like what happens is that I already explained the setup of the game to you, right? Which is like a bunch of like high schoolers get transported to like get dropped into like a school in like a different place, and they are made to like fight a war against like some weird aliens, right?
Yeah.
The plot twist at the end of the plot twist at the end of at the end of like ending 0, I guess you can call it, is that the big boss was actually one of your classmates.
Oh, I know which one you were talking about too. You're the one that you were always kind of like suspicious of.
Yeah.
Hey, Silent.
Hey, Silent. So you go back in time, and the first thing you do when you get back to like the first day on the school is you kill him.
That's pretty funny.
But the thing is, like now everyone thinks you are
You're a murderer.
Yeah, because they don't have the context you do. So now now nobody trusts you.
Yeah.
But like, why am I mentioning that? It's because at some point in the ending I got, he just comes back. He's
terrifying.
He just comes back, and he's like, hey, what do you mean? Didn't I kill you? Didn't I actually kill you? And he's like, no, you actually killed me. I am me from like another dimension. I'm going to explain that to you later. And then someone else stabs him, and he doesn't explain anything to you.
That's pretty funny. That's like a really funny bit. Don't worry, I have all the answers. Oh
no! I died.
Oh no! It appears I've been died. It appears I have been died. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that. I'm not gonna.
It appears I have been died. Oh no!
It appears I have been died. Save me.
Also, the character is such a fucking like man whore. Like the main character is such a fucking like he's so fucking easy. He's like, okay, so like the entire game he has been in love with like this one girl. He's fucking like
the girl that looks like his friend.
Yeah, he's like head over heels with her, and then he goes on like an expedition to like find something with like another girl, and they spend like one night sleeping on the same seat on a bus because it's really cold, and now he's in love with her. They didn't even do anything. They just like slept on the same chair on the bus because they didn't do it. They didn't do anything. It was cold, so they got on the same chair and they fell asleep. It's like, yeah, I have done that with friends of like both gender, of like every gender. It's normal, right? Like sometimes you just like, sometimes you sleep next to someone. It happens, right?
What's the point? What is that? That's so dumb.
So now he's in love with her.
Oh god.
And he's like, okay,
which one?
So
which one is he in love with? What's? You can have multiple crushes. He's a
but like to be that easy.
Yeah, like you have a high ground here.
Yeah, but like I slept in buses next to many women and that I didn't get crushes on. Like that is not a valid like, especially if
I'm sure we could find you having a crush for less.
Especially
we could find me having a crush for less.
And I don't know, like if it is someone you have known for like 200 days, I feel like at that point you either have a crush or you don't. Like sleeping on a bus with them isn't going to change that.
It is a bit weird.
And the one he has a crush on is the one who gets who vomits every time she gets nervous.
The soy girl?
Huh?
No, which one's Vomit Girl? I can't remember Vomit Girl. She's the one with the truck,
Yeah.
but I forget what her design looks like. Hold on. She has like a trucker hat too, because she vomits in it, right?
There she is.
Oh, you put her on. Oh, she's cute. Yeah, she's cute. I can't blame him.
And he's like, oh no, she's touching me. I am in love.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he's easily swayed.
the weirdest part is that it's like fucking reciprocal.
Well, of course it is. He's the main character.
So she's actually the one who stabs the other guy when he comes back from like another dimension.
Jesus Christ, woman.
Because it's like, oh okay. Because the other guy is like taunting you. So he's like, no, 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 you're not going to taunt him.
Your
And she
wife is
stabs him.
that ready to kill.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which you know kind of hot.
It's pretty flattering, I won't lie.
But you know, I get worried because like if she pukes every time she gets if she pukes every time she gets like nervous, like
Mm-hmm.
will kissing her not make her nervous?
Yeah, there's an episode of a cartoon where that happens. Um, and then the guy vomits in her mouth, and then she vomits, and she vomits back in his mouth. And congratulations, it was Canadian animation. It was disgusting.
Yeah, I feel like all of the like weird fucking cartoons are like Canadian.
Yeah, they are. I don't know what's up with my country in doing that. They just, it's
I mean,
fucking
they're too
so
polite in real life.
weird.
They need an outlet.
Yeah, but it's just, I guess so. I just wish they didn't.
Oh,
I
for
wish
some
we
reason,
bottled it up.
at some point, she just like kisses the weird girl who is like obsessed with killing for some reason.
Obsessed with killing?
Yeah, do you know Darumi, the one who chat loves?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Like at some point, she just like kisses her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Goth Hatsune Miku, right?
Yeah,
Your mechanical girl kisses her?
yeah,
Well, now you're in the way of sapphic love, main protagonist. I don't know.
yeah. I know. What a bummer. Like the thing is like, that's all
No,
it
no,
takes.
they can
The thing
share him.
is like
They can pass him around like a blunt.
that is all it takes because Darumi immediately is like Mistress Suwasa, I will do anything for you, and he's like, oh girl.
Listen, listen. The teenage heart is easily swayed. In a situation where you are questioning if a girl even likes you, if another girl like went like you're cute, you would get flustered 9 times out of 10.
And it's like, and you know and like okay, so like mechanic girl kisses God Hatsune Miku, and God Hatsune Miku starts going insane and like calling him mistress, uh, and like pledging her life to her, uh, and Chad immediately goes like, oh, she's like you.
Yeah, she is.
You were supposed to be on my side.
What do you mean I'm supposed to be on your side? When they're right, they're right. What the fuck are you talking about? In what world do you think I was gonna go like, oh, yeah, actually, you're extremely mentally stable. You wouldn't freak out. You take it all really well.
And it's like, and it's just like, okay, so like, what is going on between you two? Because like at some point you're like, at some point Narumi is like acting up, and Wasa goes, hey, if you don't calm down, I'm not going to shower with you anymore. And he's like, huh?
Okay.
Can I watch?
Of course you'd ask. Of course you'd ask. Ugh.
And at some point, Darumi.
I'm not happy because I'm imagining the cuck chair in a shower room, which is like weird, which is like
But
a weirder context.
you know how some showers have like the little nook like built in to sit on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be you,
Is the cook nook?
the cuck nook. I don't like the cuck corner.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! I hate that. I hate all of this.
Okay, but like, is it weirder? Is it weirder if the cock is sitting there with his clothes wet, or if the cock is also naked?
I like the imagery of he's fully clothed and his clothes are. It makes him so much more of a loser. CEO cuck chair like Candy does. Oh no, Candy, you have a CEO cuck chair.
Yeah, they found a picture of like an executive coach chair, and they started, "Hey, it's your chair," and he's like, "No."
Oh, you.
That's some okay. So like in VTuber culture, there is this thing called like a Noshi mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like one or two emotes that like fans can put on their name to signify they are part of like the fan base of this particular like VTuber, right?
Oh no,
And they just decided to like it going to be like the cherry emoji.
I knew it.
And it's
I
like,
knew it.
no.
But this raises many questions. Are they all in sitting in cuck chairs, or what? Like, at what point is like, okay, how many cucks in a cuck chair until it becomes a live performance? This is the real question.
fucking like fucking like
It's a
musical
real riddle.
musical cock chairs.
Music. If you get kicked out, you have to go in. Quite
Yeah.
literally. Like, oh, but I wanted to sit and watch. Oh my
No, I
god.
don't know. No, and like
Anything else?
there is this part where like mechanic girl passes out, um,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're taking care
But
of
you're
her.
telling me Mechanic Girl kissed her too, though?
Mechanic girl was the one who kissed her.
Such a weird thing. Did
Like
they have any prior screen chemistry before that? Like, other than the shower comment?
no, that's the thing is like, and the shower thing happens after the kiss.
Oh, that's weird.
And like the thing is like there is no reason for them to kiss. It literally just happens.
I
she
guess like
just does.
it's interesting.
She just
It's
does it.
interesting enough because
Like
yeah.
like honestly, it just feels like mechanic girl wanted to do it and just was waiting for an excuse.
Well, I think it is interesting enough because like you get to truly explore like the different interactions this cast has, right? Because you have like a pretty generous cast, all things considered, and then what do you add more to that? Just like the various different interactions they have and how nuanced they can become, which
Yeah,
is a fun idea. It's a very fun idea.
yeah, and like uh, what was that one? Yeah, there is this part where like mechanic girl passes out, and God Hasune Miko is like, yeah, I was cleaning her. And when I was like cleaning her, she was wet, and it was such an erotic sight, and it was like, yeah, we need to get you away from her.
You you can only picture the grimacing look I had, like
Well,
mm, mm,
and it's like, yeah, no, but like,
yeah.
and like, I'm just wondering now, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering now because um, there is like a menu you can go to check like short biographies and stuff of the characters, right? Which is like
Yeah.
not, which is like is relatively common with like visual novels or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there is a menu you can, and like for some reason I realized after the reset happens, after like the time travel starts, another thing appears on the menu called like a bond level.
Okay.
But like I think I accidentally locked myself into like the worst route with like the worst endings. So I haven't been able to like, the game hasn't let me like engage with like any of the like gift giving or like the upgrading or anything stuff like that. So I still don't know how like the bond level works. So I'm wondering, is there a route where I get to like pick while romance? Like what is going on here?
That's interesting. Well, I mean, to be fair, you might as well get the worst shit out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I accidentally looked myself into like the worst ending. it has
Yeah.
been
So
so
like
fucking it has been so fucking
then you can.
stressful.
I like how we were talking about like lesbian goth Hatsune Miku, and now like I'm getting ads for like my Canadian bank, and the whole ad is like two women holding hands, and then it talks about banking.
Oh yeah,
What the
that
fuck?
Umi is like the longer her character exists on screen, the more you realize that Umi is like a disaster lesbian. Like she makes
Oh,
me look sane.
absolutely. Yeah.
No, but her story is also like there was a part where they explained her story, and it was like it's honestly like really sad.
Oh,
And you realize that a lot of her personality is like a cover.
I think that's about right. Like, I mean, if they're like performative
Yeah, a lot of personality is like performative for
to
like the stuff that
play.
happens to her, and it's like, oh, okay,
Oh, poor thing.
yeah, she's very very
Uh,
sad. And I think that like that was like the one moment that actually got me in the game.
oh.
Because it was like okay, so like um so Darumi is like she has this obsession with killing games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at first it just like seems like she has that as like a wing wing not thing to Danganronpa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know like at some point you realize that like you have a conversation with Hiruko, which is like the tal lady who I really like, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because at some point like Hiruko is like taking care of the Rumi and nobody can understand why he's bothering to take care of the Rumi, considering how fucking like because nobody the people on the game don't really like her. They find her like too extreme to like over the top
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit dangerous. So like at some point
Mm-hmm.
you ask Hiruko like why are you taking care of Darumi, right? And so Hiruko has a conversation with you and she explains to you like the thing is like Darumi has a like all kind she's going through like all kinds of like poverty, all kinds of abuse, and she really just wants to die. Uh, and the reason
Mm.
she has this obsession with killing games is because she has like
She's hoping she gets taken down first.
yeah she wants one to
Mm.
happen and she wants to like because she thinks like if one happens at least she can have like an interesting death.
Mm. That is pretty rough.
She, at least you can have like an interesting death. And then Hiruko explains to you that like she is like one of the few people that has been able to like convince Darumi to calm down and to like keep up with her. You know, like when she says that when she tells Darumi to do something, uh,
Mm.
uh, because the thing is like in the route in the route I got myself into, and a killing game actually happens. A killing game actually starts happening, and a lot of people have actually died. Kind of insane.
Oh no.
Uh, I think like 6 characters have died so far.
Oof.
Uh, so that is why, and this happens like relatively like in the beginning of of that route. And Hiruko is telling you that like the reason she is like working together with Darumi, or right now and like taking care of her is because she knows that if she like she's one of the few people who can like get Darumi to do what she says, and she knows that if she's not there to like tell Darumi to like do something certain things, Darumi the first thing Darumi is going to do um is like get herself killed. Is like
Mm.
do something to like make herself a target.
Mm.
So she's basically like keeping Darumi around to like make sure she doesn't do that.
That's interesting as a dynamic.
Yeah, and like I guess like that and that conversation really got me
I
because
do feel bad for.
that
Yeah, I get
because
what you mean.
that conversation really got me because like I know for a fact that my mom has had conversations about me like that before.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that.
I know for a fact that like because like for example like a couple of months ago you had to travel uh for like a month. She has to like go away for like a month. And I know for a fact that like, one of the things that was worrying her the most about like taking that trip is that when she came back, I was not going to be here.
Yeah, no, it can be really worrying when you're friends with someone with very with clinical depression, and depending on the person, like if there is clearly evidence of suicidal ideation,
Yeah,
if you're any sort of caregiver in any capacity, you'll naturally have an anxiety.
yeah,
I've also found it interesting because there are people who are like, I won't say they're insensitive or like emotionally stunted, but like you could clearly not necessarily associate them with caregiver roles, but like when they're in that kind of like situation with someone who's clearly depend like their life is literally dependent on them, they do something does turn on as a switch,
yeah. No, yeah, that
and
happens.
it happens. Yeah, it happens a lot.
I remember I remember like there was the I used to have this classmate who like speaking of like that switch that gets turned. I used to have this classmate who was like like a typical like fucking like completely like slacking in every class. He would like get drunk
Mm-hmm.
all the time. He was like he was
Kind of
like
self-destructive in that sense, yeah.
yeah, he was constantly like failing classes. He got held back a couple of years. And actually he was my classmate like on like my last year of high school. But before that he was like a couple of years over me, but like he got held back a few times, and that is why
Mm-hmm.
we ended up in the same class. Uh but I remember like early, like not early, like probably like 4 months into like our last year of school, he got his girlfriend pregnant.
Ooh, that is pretty tough.
But like the thing is like
Like, like added on to everything.
like pretty much the next day that he learned that, like he was a completely different person.
Oh yeah.
I ne- I
Some
ne-
yeah, like we said, yeah.
I never saw I never saw him getting drunk again. He started like to pick his grades. He started going into night school,
Yeah.
and like last time I saw him, we watched a few years after like after graduation. He was working on a bank, and he's like, oh, okay, so like
Yeah.
you really did like
Sometimes yeah, sometimes like sometimes like it's something external that gives you a purpose
yeah
and like it'll like move you forward, right? So like with me when I had like I think the biggest depressive episode of my life and just like I I'll be adamant on the fact that like I do have severe depression. I've never had suicidal ideation and I thank God for that every single day because that's a terrifying thing to go through. Um
yeah, you'll get
but
used to
like
it.
I was like clearly debilitated. I wasn't functioning. I would have like these panic flashes and it was bad. And so like my dog, my first dog, uh he's still with me right now. He's taking a nap. He's looking at me, kind of squinting as he chunkily sleeps. Um he was just sort of like we were looking for a dog. My parents thought, "Oh, that'll kind of solve depression because they don't really understand depression that well, but like it does. I mean, having a pet kind of does." And I was like worried the entire time. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't take care of a pet. I'm like a mess." And it's like if another life has to depend on me, like what if it gets neglected? And then when we finally got him, all that nervousness and anxiety that was targeted at myself was to make sure that this creature was alive because it's helpless without you. And it did help. It helped me take away from my own problems, reevaluate a lot of things, and my dog had like made me like pretty much because I had to walk him. And he's a big energetic breed. I had to walk him like 2 hours a day, which
Yeah,
forced me to talk to people more, which was good. It was good for me. So like yeah, sometimes the switch turns on. Sometimes like things come in externally to give you purpose. Do I think you should hedge your bets on that? Obviously not, but it's like sometimes that's just what you need.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know, like I, I guess like yeah, that one conversation in the game really got me because it's like
No, it's fair. It's a very relatable.
because I have never like talk to my mom about like that, about like the fact that I'm suicidal
Well, it's a
sometimes.
stressful thing to even tell to your because I
Yeah,
I know you well enough. You
I
love your
mean,
mom a lot,
yeah,
and you wouldn't want to put her through that because that's like what would a person even say to that, right?
yeah. So like
Yeah.
I have never talked about my mom about the fact that I've been like suicidal for like 10 years by now. Uh,
Yeah. No, I get you.
but I guess it's obvious enough if she's like having those conversations with people anyway.
You know, I mean, I've always been open about like if my friends feel bad, I'll try pulling them out. I mean, Candy and I have pulled each other out of like pretty bad places.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like it's cliche, but it's like a friend and support group is going to get you through that. It's tough. Like you'll people are naturally inclined if they have any sort of like selfless bone in their body. They're gonna think that their problems are just a burden to others. But like I implore you, if you are ever thinking that, like a real showing of the people that matter, are you going to is you being able to voice what's wrong, you admitting that you feel a little guilty about putting them in this place, but it's just overwhelming you, and you'll be surprised how many times like people will genuinely show you kindness
yeah,
and care and compassion because it gnaws a lot more people than you think, and there are times where, like, even Candy and I said, like, we're we're in older places in our life, but like, you stew on it a lot, you think about it a lot. There's a lot of introspection, and you see it in such a way that you either want to prevent people who are going down similar roads to where you've been and luckily overcome from going there at all, or just like helping them persevere through it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mental health hour. After we talked about Assassin's Creed, that's what that does to people.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. You speak about Assassin's Creed for an hour. That's what happens.
Yeah. And then you talk about Assassin's Creed for an hour, and then we hard cut to the okay, people. Now I know suicide might be tempting,
You speak of,
but
like we had a timer on stream, and like if we speak about Assassin's Creed for like more than 30 minutes, the suicide hotline starts like flashing on screen.
yeah, we gotta be like, hold on, people, don't. But no, I think it's a tough thing for video games to always um explicitly or traverse on the ideas of psychology and depression, because we naturally go to them for escapism, or to sort of just like go away from some of the depressing stuff and just kind of have a quote unquote safe place to to just have fun. But it's also always good, like it's such an overused term, but like representation is always just going to be good to help people know that they're not alone. And sometimes
Yeah.
that's enough in your escape fiction, like just to know that this fictional character is facing this horrible, horrible thing that's very real to you, and then the hope that you're going to see them overcome that. Maybe you can take away something and understand like why they did, or just be happy that someone who is in that same boat as you doesn't have to weather that storm anymore.
Or
So yeah,
just like seeing it, because like sometimes when you're like in a
yeah,
very dark place, like you feel like you are the only person in the world who would like you know begin
you
to
do,
understand. So just
you
like
do,
just
and
like being like, oh, other people feel like this is like
just
that
shoot
makes
them.
you feel that makes you think that maybe you can like
Yeah,
talk to someone and they will
just shoot it.
understand.
Just shoot messages to like. To be fair, in our Euro server, we just have a channel dedicated to ranting, and people just pick up on it
Yeah.
because it's just like the whole point is just like, okay, just like either like I get that and I get that feeling, or it's just like I don't necessarily understand, but I don't want you to feel like you're alone because I'm there for you. Like that's just an important thing. That's a human thing to feel like you're not alone. So yeah.
Yeah.
Any other things you did this week?
Yeah. I unfortunately I failed. Unfortunately I failed. They got me, Nick. They got me.
Uh oh.
The fucking free to play Korean games got me.
Okay, which one?
The first Descendant, he got me.
Oh, I can't blame you. I couldn't blame you if you also chose Goddess of Victory, and Nike, because those cater to tastes.
Yeah. No, I was just like, uh
I didn't know First Descendant was free to play though. I
yeah, it's
was
free to play.
completely unaware of that. I thought it was a purchasable game and then it had a campaign. I didn't know that.
No, yeah, it's free to play, and I was like,
Mm.
just like I saw a character, and I was like, oh, okay, and I downloaded the game, and it's like, oh, okay,
I mean, you've
uh,
done that with Genshin. I'm not gonna blame you.
and then I realized and then I realized I needed to like completely finish the story of the game before I even unlock the thing you have to do to grind the parts for that character,
Oh, they got you in deep.
and I finished the story yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, that's valid.
So now I started
How's the
grinding for
story?
the character. I don't know. I was skipping the cutscenes.
That's fair. To
I mean, it's a
be
fucking free
fair,
to play. I mean, you did see
I can't entirely
you
tell.
did see the trailer on the fucking like
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said I'm not laughing at you, because like I'm like, yeah,
it's like
it caters to some
it's like
taste I have.
what story will a game like that have? Like it, although
I don't know.
apparently I've heard the Nika stories, like the Goddess of Victory stories, actually like kind of actually pretty cool. So I don't know.
I wouldn't know. All my friends showed me are the crouching shots that have the asses out, and I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Maybe I missed something. I don't know, but yeah, like there was this character, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm playing the game now.
I think. I mean, hey, as long as you, if you enjoyed in some. Oh, that's the character.
Yeah.
Her T pose isn't the most flattering way of looking.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
And
What
he's
are we
like,
talking
okay.
about?
You forgot.
I'm sorry. My eyes. Could you move it out? Okay, yeah. I can focus. Where? What? Right. We were talking about. But first descendant. Right there we go.
Yeah. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, the thing is, like, I actually like in all the grinding I did for like to just like get to the end of the story, I actually unlocked another character who is straight up just wearing like a fucking like kami style like leotard, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, they know their audience.
Yeah, and like this is her default costume. Like I didn't like unlock. I haven't like unlocked any skins or anything. Like this is just straight up her default costume.
You're just gonna show it.
He's like,
Oh,
oh, and he's like, oh, okay,
it's in the frozen. Okay.
thank you, game.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Zooming in on it for me.
yeah,
Okay.
so now I'm playing.
See?
So now I'm playing as her while I grind the character I want.
Fair. Any other things?
Recently they also added a character who has like genuinely gigantic fucking teeth. It's like wow.
Yeah, well,
It's like I guess they know that they know their audience and they got me.
they
They
know their
fucking got
audience.
me.
Hell, they're tempting me, but I'll just watch from afar. Anything else
Yeah.
this week for you?
No,
Okay.
not really.
All right then.
So how was your week?
Guess my week felt very long. I got replacement headphones. I'm getting replacement earphones Monday. So thank God I can go back to audio editing. I got some lines sent in by some friends for a YouTube short that I'm putting out next week. What else is there? I decided to binge Monty Python's Flying Circus because I've never watched it. I've only known like a couple memes from it. I watched the Monty Python movies,
Yeah.
um, and they're good, but like, holy Christ, Monty Python the Flying Circus sucks for the first 3 seasons. Like, it's not funny. It's genuinely just a bunch of British men repeating the premise of the sketch for about 8 minutes. And like the one time the joke kind of lands, they overdo on it and it just keeps going for too long. And I know someone's gonna tell me you have to keep watching because the Spanish Inquisition at chapter like in series 4. But like, how did this manage to get multiple seasons from the get go? Like the first few seasons suck. I was genuinely waiting for it to be good. I know one friend told me it gets good at season 3. I'm like, I'll give it its fair share. I usually try to be patient so people don't give me that bullshit. It was like, oh, but it actually gets really good at this episode. I hate that argument. If your argument goes like the thing is good when you reach episode X and episode X is at the double digits, the series isn't good.
Yeah. It's like fucking like the game thing. Like hey, the game gets good after like the 20-hour mark. It's like no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That just means it's bad. That just means it's bad for 20 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
um that's like fucking One Piece. To be fair, no, I will say One Piece is good. It's just every arc starts off slow, but it's
Yeah.
usually good. Like the characters are actually pretty fun. The fights are pretty good. I'd say read the manga. I don't say watch the anime. I think
I
the
still
One
think it's
Piece
way too
anime
fucking
is
long.
genuinely bad. It is really fucking long, but it's actually really funny how they resolve a lot of like fights and stuff because it's really stupid. Like that plot is you can tell by the way Oda writes it. This man was building it in his head since elementary school because it's so
Yeah.
refined. Um, I'm
Yeah, I feel
still only
like
on
I feel
episode and like
anyone with like a creative bone in their body has like that one story they have been like working on since they were like a
yeah.
child. Like I have
So like
one.
he
I have a Google Drive
yeah
folder filled with like a story I've been working on since I was like 8.
yeah. So like I'm on chapter like 800 and something out of like the 1100 that are out, and I'll
Jesus
say
fucking
like
Christ.
I know right. The arcs are pretty good, but they almost always start off slow with each arc. But then it kind of gets worth it in the middle of the arc, just how like the fights play out, how like the dynamics like play out. But again, if someone's just gonna tell me, but no, I won't read One Piece, I'm not gonna like get upset about it. I'd be like, no, bet. It's like 1100 chapters, dude. I'm not gonna force you, and I'm definitely not gonna
How
tell
many
you to watch
pages
the
is like a
anime.
chapter?
20, 28, anywhere from like 18 to 22.
Okay, so let's like average 20 times.
You can binge like I binged a lot. It's just like there are times where I would get burned out. So because I would separate my binging through arcs. And then my last one was on the start of like one of the arcs there, and I was just like, I'm kind of just gonna try some other stuff for a while, and then I just left it on hold.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
it's
still
a,
only like
so
300
it's
behind.
around 22,000 pages.
Yeah,
So around 11 Bibles.
yeah,
So one piece is like reading the Bible 11 fucking times.
yeah. It is. I'll say. I mean, to be fair, most of it is illustration. We'd have to cut down the word count, right? But like,
Yeah.
what was I talking about? So yeah, Monty Python's Flying Circus. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another shot next week and see, because like the Spanish Inquisition meme I think is like one of the highlights, but I have none of the others because I liked Life of Brian. Holy Grail is probably one of my favorite movie out of the ones they ever made. Um.
For reference, War and Peace, you know the fucking like giant fucking
Oh
book
yeah, I
about
know
like
War and Peace.
Persian wars. War and Peace is like 20 times shorter.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just, I mean, to be fair, it's easy for people like back then because it was like weekly serialization, and then it built up, and the problem was it was
No,
good.
no, but like the thing is like back then writers were paid by the word. So that
Yeah.
was
Okay.
so
True.
they were intentionally being like, hmm. So like
Mm,
the reason they are the reason those books are so like inscrutable and like they have like such flowery language is because they were intentionally writing everything in the most long-winded way they could so they could get paid
that's
more.
really funny. That's really funny. I mean, that checks out for a lot of things. Um. So yeah, I did that, and then what else did I do? I played Duck Detective 2 on Tuesday. It's actually really cute. It's another just short 2 hour to 3 hour like time. I forgot that Brian David Gilbert voices your sidekick.
Oh, that
And
sounds really funny.
yeah, he does a really good job. His voice is really funny. He's very cute as a character. All the characters are really cute. This is one of those games where I could totally see, because like the format's actually excellently done, because they save up on a lot of animations just because the avatars are like these sticker like aesthetics, and they can just walk around the map. So they
Yeah,
save a lot on animation. And then they only animate like the final cutscene to elaborate on the entire mystery of the case. And
yeah,
even then, that's short. And I thought about it more and more. I was like, okay, this is an easy template. I feel like the reusability of this engine of like ad libbing as the gameplay mechanic is a pretty fun way of like solving mysteries, and is low development cost. And I would imagine they make a pretty decent amount on returns. I would genuinely, I like this game. I like this cast and these writers so much that I could totally be down to watch an animated series of Duck Detective. I think it's very cute. Your Duck Detective is like, he's like this grizzled guy who's like divorced, but he's so hopelessly still in love with his ex who's a swan. And he's just like, she's just like, she told me to send the glove back and I did, but I sent a love letter with it. And you're like the alligator that Brian David Gilbert like voices. He's just like, I told you to stop writing her. And it's like, I'm still not over her. And it's like, it's been a year, 9 months. It's been 9 months. You're just like, Jesus. But then Brian, like the character is also cute too, because he looks up to your duck detective character so much that
Duck
he's like, I'll be your
detective. I
sidekick,
don't know. I feel like
the
I don't. Every time you mention the
the
name, I feel like I need to
investigator.
like. Every time you mention the name, I feel like there needs to be like just like a voice in the background doing a little like Diddy, like a little like jingle.
Yeah.
Duck detective.
Well, he's also an alligator named what is it? What's his fucking name? It's a goofy dumb name. Freddie Frederson. So Freddy goes like, "I'll be your sidekick, the investigator," and then I think like, does anyone here care about spoilers for Duck Detective 2 at the end of Duck Detective 2?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's so funny.
What's so funny?
So I was looking with like for like the cast of Dog Detective 2,
Never heard of.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I opened the credits for like the voice actor for the dog, and the
Mm-hmm.
first
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm aware.
and the most recent credit on his name is the fucking DJ they added to like Fatal Fury City of Wolves.
Okay,
Like
so yeah, so during the campaign of Duck Detective 2, in the middle of it, Duck Detective, you can always talk to your sidekick, and you mention some stuff, and then
okay,
your alligator friend
okay.
just goes like, you don't get letters. He's like, no, I never open it. I was like, what about those ones from the government that gets sent to our apartment? He's like, I don't open them. And he's like, Duck Detective, those are important. You can't just do that. And then at the end of the game, Duck Detective gets arrested for missing jury duty multiple times. And that's the cliffhanger. No one knows what's gonna happen to Duck Detective. He's just gonna be in prison.
I found a better picture of the character the game gave me.
Which character? Let's see. Duck Detective's cute. I recommend it. Oh, you're gonna have to turn the stream like PG after this.
Yeah.
Like YouTube's gonna be like, "Hey, our algorithm detected
Listen.
something."
I think the rules are that as long as it's like inside of an actual game,
Hmm.
it's fine.
That's so. Okay.
No, like
Um.
I was checking the credits of this dude, right? Uh
Mm-hmm.
uh wait, let me sort my new checking the credits. Like what the fuck is this image? Like why is that the screen speaking of us, why is that the screenshot they chose?
Oh, that's really funny. Nero the Sable. No, you don't get it. The ass is the one that's talking.
Oh, Nero is in the ass.
Yeah, Nero's in the ass.
Oh.
So yeah, Duck Detective 2 is really cute, cheap. It's like maybe 7 USD or so. Um, it's worth a shot. Same thing with Duck Detective 1. I'd I'd recommend these more if more of the games were out and then they came out in like a compilation. I definitely want this to be like an animated series because I think there's a lot more that you could do here than just give it like 2 hours. That was fun. Wednesday, I started up my Resident Evil 3 run finally. I had to do multiple runs because I wanted to. Because in Resident Evil, you can buy like various perks for the next run when you finish the
Yeah.
campaign, right? So I thought to myself, okay, do I just want to do a classic RE3 Inferno S rank run, or do I want to just have fun and have infinite ammo and make everything a joke like Nemesis? And I thought about it more. I was like, I want to cheese Nemesis. So I got all my items and yeah, playing through that game multiple times is just like R3 remake is just not that interesting.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I like well, okay, they don't do a lot of things. Like they open up with the idea of Jill's PTSD, but it doesn't really go that well because it doesn't get explored as much.
Yeah.
Carlos is like the highlight of that game.
Yeah.
Uh
Is
yeah.
that the guy with the like really fluffy hair?
Yeah. But he's
Oh.
just a fun character. He's just really funny. Cuz she's just like literally
Man
she's just
with
like
gun.
so yeah, she's just like no, because he's really I like how well mannered he is. Like he isn't like gruff military man. Like she'll be going like, so you just called me to tell me you have nothing useful to say, and he's like, I try. That's it's just it's just like yeah, all right,
All right. All right, Carlos.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what?
yeah.
And that is all we can ask from you, Carlos. That is all we
That's
can ask
all.
from you.
Yeah, you try. You definitely. Try. Yeah, it's a fine game. I like not fine. It's like They cut out content from the original. Mm,
Yeah, and that is like the
uh,
thing I don't understand. Like if you're remaking a
yeah.
game, like don't get rid of stuff. Like
It
just
was
don't.
just it's just clear that this was just banking off of like asset reusage for a lot of things from RE2 and just like kind of like being as minimal as they could be until they as they continued with the other stuff with our RE. But like
They also
yeah, I'm
added
gonna have a
they also added a cutscene of Jill getting throat fucked by a tentacle for some reason.
yeah, Drain Deimos. Drain Deimos section is like really gross because like the implication. Well, no, they literally just put parasites in you, and it's like really
Like
invasive on how they do it.
why did they need to add that cutscene of her getting throat fucked by the tentacle?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Um, yeah. So I started up my Inferno run.
Listen,
Did
I
the
really
Drain Deimos section.
and you know what? I really like tentacles, but I also really like consent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I finished the Drain Deimos section.
So like
Max
yeah,
saved, and
yeah,
then had to do the rest.
like tentacle throat fucking is really hot, but like consensual tentacle throat fucking.
I don't feel like that's that common in hentai candy.
I
I
have
feel
seen.
like the tentacle. I don't think I've seen that much of a batting average for the tentacle monster to be like, okay, I really want you to feel comfortable right now.
I have seen actually. There's like there is actually like a subreddit called consentacles, which is all
Mm.
exclusively about that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That being it, I feel like was made to be like, okay, we got to get the subsection of the ones that do because I feel like the others kind of are a bit much by comparison. So yeah.
I often find myself wishing tentacle monsters were real.
Why can't you be normal? Like just for one day for me. Like is that so much to ask?
At this point,
Uh
probably yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so like I finished the Drain Dama section. I saved there. I'm gonna do the rest like tomorrow because it's been busy. Like a friend and I have been going through a bit of Leighton versus Ace Attorney. It's fine, pretty slow start. Um we're like I think 6 hours in. I
Is
don't
that the one
care
with the
that
hot
much.
judge that dresses like a teacher?
She's not the judge. She's the prosecutor. I think she's like a grand. Her name is Darklaw. She's such. Her name is Darklaw. It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm
listen,
just imagining.
listen. In the grand scheme of things, a stupid name is a very easy thing to overlook for a hot woman.
In no, to be fair, in Ace Attorney, sure, but it's like usually it'd be like Blackwell. It's like okay, that's kind of arty goth, but it's like Fulbright is like, yeah, we're staying on the nose, but like Darklaw sounds like something like someone who made a self-insert fanfic for Shadow. Just like
Darklaw the Hedgehog.
I'm Darklaw the Hedgehog. Who are you? Objection. Who are you? I'm Darklaw. Just teacher by day, prosecutor by night. Why are you? What is your backstory need you to be a teacher?
You wouldn't
um,
understand it.
you wouldn't understand. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care that much about the latent parts as much as I do the Ace Attorney parts. I think the Ace Attorney characters are actually in their worst renditions. Um, because like Maya is for some reason a huge asshole to you. For whatever reason, like she for some reason she's always picking fights with you. Literally in your first case, Candy. Oh,
Hmm?
also the female designs tend to be prettier. Also like in the first case, a lead pipe or no, just a pipe is used as a weapon. And to prove like the point of injury couldn't happen, Maya replicates it by just hitting you in the head with a pipe.
That's really funny
And
though.
you're just it is pretty funny, but it's like very oddly like characterized for her, and you're just like, Maya, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? Um
I mean, I don't know. Like the image I have of Maya, I don't know, that tracks. She always seemed like a little bit of a little like cheap
She
goblin to me.
isn't, no, but she wouldn't actively hurt Phoenix. What she does is she just goads him along. She goads on him, sure. She goads him, sure, but she'll like what she does is she's a free spirit, and Phoenix is unfortunately the one who has to pick up like after her. So she'd be the type who like if you saw like a souvenir shop, she would buy 50 things and then go like, "Okay, Nick, you can handle it," and she'd walk away.
You know what? You know what? Like, have you ever seen that picture of a dude like having with two kids on leashes trying to like wrangle them?
That's just Phoenix with my.
Yeah,
It says something
yeah. It is this
that
picture. Let me like I'm just imagining like a drawing over of this picture with like Phoenix, Maya, and what was the hot girl, Trucy, Tracy,
oh, true,
Trucy.
no, yeah, Trucy, yeah, Trucy.
I'm just imagining like this with like Phoenix, Maya, and Trucy.
To be fair, okay, wait. Trucy usually doesn't give trouble to Phoenix because he's her dad. She does act a little spoiled, and to be fair, it's on Phoenix because he's the type of dad who can't say no to his daughter because
Yeah,
he's just like, oh, my little angel. But like he does go like, uh-oh, she's gonna she's on one of her phases
maybe
again.
I should draw that.
But Maya on the other hand is just like Maya is so bad that even her like what is it her 7 no her 8-year-old cousin is far more well mannered by comparison. Like she's like, I wouldn't want to impose, Mr. Nick. It's like I'm fine with this, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, how are you related to Maya?
Why cannot you? Why can't you not be like that?
Yeah, you're just pointing at the younger kid, and you're looking at Maya. It's like, why can't you be like your sister?
She's my favorite now.
She's my favorite now. Yeah, she's pretty much like your second daughter. One of the cutest things when Pearl comes back is the lore thing is that Pearl just acts like a big sister to Trucy, and you're like, oh, my daughter is my other daughter. Oh, that's adorable. Um, what was I saying?
She's the one that has like hair like into like two loops, right?
Yeah, pretzel hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's adorable. They're like I love Pearl and Maya and Phoenix just like as a family unit when they're adventuring. Trucy works, but Trucy doesn't really partner with Phoenix that much. She does in one case, but like their rapport is mostly just him playing the straight man to a bit, but he doesn't get it as bad as when Apollo is with Trucy because Trucy is like Apollo's sidekick usually,
Yeah.
and it's very sibling vibe of the younger sister is clearly the spoiled one that the older brother has to deal with.
Where
Like the
does
younger
Banana Girl?
sibling is
Where does Banana Girl
the
into the situation?
she unfortunately kind of replaces Trucy as the sidekick for a bit. But
Mm.
her thing is since she's so over emotional, hyper emotional, she's kind of a moron. So she's like, "Oh, I'm anxious. What am I going to do? I'm going to run around this arena until I lose my breath and then I won't be anxious anymore." And Apollo's like, "We have to solve a crime.
We are at work.
Brett, could you stop?" And then at some point, she like her brain she also gets super competitive. It's like, oh man, Mr. Wright and Apollo both don't get phased when they see dead bodies. I'm gonna start staring at dead bodies more so I don't get phased. It's like, woman, what is your priority? Athena's just an idiot. She's
I
just
mean,
because Athena's
she dresses exclusively in yellow. I get the feeling that was a
yeah.
given.
She's like the third protagonist, but she also doubles as like the sidekick for both of them on more occasions because you only have her as like the lead prosecutor for one case.
Yeah.
But she's fine enough as is. And like she's like a fine addition. I don't think too many people complain about her being added into Ace Attorney at all. If anything, more people complain about how they treated Apollo. And man, I saw concept art of Apollo, and the concept art just looks better than what he is now.
Well, did he used to look like older than 14 years old? Because I think that's one of the main problems with Apollo is that he looks like a 14-year-old.
I just hate that Apollo has so much forehead. He was, I don't know. Also, Geo Stellar from Mega Man Star Force also had a lot of forehead. I don't know what Capcom was. I don't know if Capcom had a man whose hairline was receding and he needed to live vicariously through fiction, and he made every character design like just have big foreheads for the main pro tags. But like
It's
Apollo
like no,
just
no, 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 no. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Having your hairline this high, it's cool. It's cool. Don't worry. We're going to
this
make
is
it
cool.
cool.
It's gonna be the new cool.
We're gonna make it
More
hip with the
people are gonna.
kids.
Please don't take this away from me. But like here, okay, I'm gonna show you. Now the problem with the concept arts is they gave him a full suit. I actually like Apollo's like vest look because it's enough of a contrast with Phoenix.
Yeah,
Here's Apollo's like one of his potential concept art looks. Like this looks much more interesting as a character design
yeah. Oh yeah, that's way better.
versus versus big forehead Apollo. It's like, but Nick, you don't get it. The whole point is you get to make fun of his big forehead.
Yeah, it looks. It looks.
And there's looks very Capcom-y, Mega Man Battle Network-y.
Yeah.
I like it. Um, yeah, no. So going through that, once I finish RE3, I'll be going at like Frostlaten at a slower pace. Um,
And so
but
why does he
yeah,
have antennae? Like that's what he
Trucy hasn't. Trucy
that's
has
what
antenna too.
that is what his hair looked like. He looked like a you know what you know what I think like his hair was supposed to look like actually.
What?
I think they were trying to make his hair look like a helmet with like the little like decorative
Would
horns.
you like to know something even more infuriating?
What?
He only has the two antennae. There isn't like a third one that's symmetrical. So when you see him at the front, it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I think it was supposed to look like a fucking like Power Ranger helmet or something like that.
do you want to know how he has the antenna?
How?
Okay, spoilers for Ace Attorney, everyone. Um, Trucy also has antenna, and they get it from their mom's side because spoiler alert, Trucy and Apollo are actually siblings, half siblings. And you want to know one of the resolutions that happens at the end of Apollo Justice?
What?
Phoenix goes, "Hey, should I tell your kids that you're their mom? The two kids who think they're orphans and have no family." Nah,
No, see what like the thing about like is like Trucy's antennae are like way smaller, so they're actually kind of
no,
cute.
but the whole well, no, but the whole point of the whole point of the character thing is like when you see it, it's like you wouldn't be able to tell right away, but like it's a nod to show that those two are actually siblings.
Yeah, but like her antennae are like way shorter. They just look
Well,
like a
that's what
hoggies.
you well, that's what happens when you get different dads. One has the stronger antenna gene and one has the weak antenna gene.
Like in her case, it just looks like an ahogi.
Zach Grammaire has weak antenna genes. Jove Justice, strong antenna genes.
Her dad
Ace
is
Attorney's
called
so
Zach
fucking cool.
Groomer.
No, Zach Grammaire.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. Zach Grammaire. Why were you selecting me? I called him Grammaire. Zach's also like a weird character because like you're supposed to kind of like him, but the first case that he's in, he's dead. And
Oh.
also, he tried physically assaulting Phoenix with a wine bottle because he was upset that he lost to Phoenix in poker.
Oh, but like okay, so like I see, like the hat is also genetic.
Yeah, see, you get it.
The hat is genetic. So like that is the problem. That is the reason her antennae are smaller. It's because the hat
Yeah,
gene
because
was
the antenna gene was traded in for the hat gene.
the hat gene was conflicting with the antenna gene.
Exactly. What the fuck are we talking about anyway? Um, yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know. That seems like a pretty on track Ace Attorney conversation to me.
it does. Um, Yeah, with Leighton Cross Ace Attorney is just like I don't really care that much about the Leighton aspects. Puzzles are fine. Nothing really struggling with so far. They're pretty cut and dry. They're not that in depth, and I remember seeing my friend play other Leighton puzzles that were far more difficult. I think this is the problem when you have two kind of very different gameplay styles that are forced to coexist with each other. Is since you're trying to cater to two different audiences that might have played both or be aware of both, you can't go full on in the identity of either.
It's
So you get
like
watered down
it's
versions
like
of both.
what are you thinking about? We cannot ask the Ace Attorney players to put all the red liquid on the wire on the left.
Exactly. It's like also you can't make you can't ask the latent players to make a coherent argument. It
They're
just won't
thinking
work.
they are thinking about changing the result of the equation, but moving only one match.
Uh, so like in the first, I was gonna show you the character design of the woman. In the first case, I think she's Italian. Hold on,
Hey, pizza. Sorry, was that racist?
was it racist? I don't know. You're a Latina. I think you can technically make fun of Italians because like you guys aren't too far off. It's like how I can make fun of other brown Southern Asian people. It's just
Yeah.
hold
Pizza,
on.
pasta. Every now and then I think about that. Like I feel like my brain is broken. Every time someone says pizza, I start every time someone says pizza, I start hearing that song in my brain. It's like Hatsune Miku singing like pizza, pasta, put
Oh,
it
I
in a
remember this.
box,
Okay, I'm gonna show you.
deliver it to my house and put it on my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock,
This
my
woman is at the
cock.
witness stand
Cheese
and
on
she
my
has her
peanuts and
cleaver.
salsa on my balls.
This woman is on the witness stand, and when you make her angry, she tries to chop the head off of a tuna, but the tuna keeps on dodging it. And her breakdown animation is she keeps on trying to chop off the head of the tuna, and then the tuna slaps her with its tail, and she falls over.
She's cute.
She is pretty cute.
Also Tommy. Tommy.
Yeah, I think she's not the only one with like tummy in her design. I don't know what the Prof
Hmm.
Layton Cross Ace Attorney designer was on.
It's like the thing, like there are some stuff that is very clearly like have you ever noticed how many like characters in like Souls games are women without any shoes? And it's
Well,
like,
I mean, like it's the
what are you
Pixar mom effect, right? It's
no,
just
but
like,
like,
yeah,
have you noticed how often like just a lady without any shoes shows up in like a Souls game? She's like, what are you doing,
yeah, true,
Miyazaki? What are you doing,
true.
Miyazaki?
Him
Hmm.
and Hinton Tarantino, right?
Yeah.
Just in a bar. What else was there? So yeah,
Ne- ne-
RE3, and then
never forget that Tarantino once wrote a movie where he cast himself as someone who was going to leak the feet of Salma Hayek.
um, so yeah, uh, I'll resume with
Which
that. Then
I, I'm not into feet, but for Salma Hayek,
I don't judge. Um, yeah, gonna finish RE3 tomorrow. It's a short game. Now that I have like the unlimited stuff, and I'm gonna clown on stuff because I'll find it funny. It'll be I don't know I find it so funny in a narrative like Resident Evil where it's just like, how will Jill Valentine be able to overcome Umbrella and its horrible biomutant tyrant nemesis? And then I pulled out my rocket launcher. It's just like, yeah.
I
Um,
think I think that's going to be like the fun part because this week I'm going to try to like very quickly like see if like in just like 5 days I can like very quickly make my way through Persona 5.
valid. Oh,
Uh,
right. With the new game plus, well, I think
using
it's valid.
using my new game plus save, and I think it's just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to be very fun. It's like oh no, our brave heroes are on the ropes against one of those corrupt adults. What are they going to do? I I
And then
I
I called upon God.
I summon Satan.
Yeah,
I summon
it's like,
Satan.
oh,
It's like actually, like I'm not joking. Like actually, like one of the personas I have is actual like honest to God Satan.
I think I find it more funny in the context of like Akira talking to Sai, and Sai
Yeah.
just going like, Listen, I asked you about the details of your crime, and you keep on convincing me that you brought Satan. Like, if you want, we could go back to the part where I tried fucking your sister.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't
Okay,
think
so this,
I don't think I have ever actually romanced Makoto.
I think I find it funnier. No, because I remember way back I wrote a sketch that I never followed up on, and the entire thing was just gonna be Akira talking about every romance conquest he did concurrently, and Say just getting increasingly more disgusted.
Yeah.
But yeah, um,
Yeah, but like look at my personas in my New Gun Plus save. It is like
yeah,
nothing is surviving.
yeah, no, that's no, you're gonna win. Sometimes you just want to have fun. Sometimes you just want to curb stomp Symphony. Is that so wrong?
Yeah, look, I
Um,
have
yeah,
level 99 Lucifer and level 98 Satan. I have Satan
yeah,
squared.
yeah, exactly. Have fun. Have fun. Yeah, so after I finish that, I'm gonna finally and Leighton, I'm gonna finish off Spirit of Justice. Then I'm gonna be a little more productive because the remaining games are gonna be like 30 hours plus, and that might take me a while. So I won't start up as many games. Um,
I need to stop
and
choosing long games to play.
yeah, and then the YouTube short that I'm hopefully coming out with, I've got mostly edited. I'm just waiting for 7 other people's voice lines. It's just gonna be 1 minute, but it's fun. It's a bridge styled, and I always wanted to do bridge stuff.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hopefully I get it done by Tuesday. And I think that's about my week. So yeah, that was the end of my week. And you know, that one isn't the only thing ending. So is this podcast because god damn it, it's 12:20 a.m.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget that you're like an hour ahead of me.
Sometimes I'm an hour ahead. You're always 1 hour behind.
Actually,
So
I think the thing that confuses me is that like because you have summertime and we don't,
hmm.
it's like it changes how ahead of you are.
Oh yeah, true.
Because we don't have
But
like we don't do that. We just keep the same like hour like the entire day round. We don't bother with that. It sounds stupid, so we don't do it.
well, you know, an hour is a valuable thing. And what else would you like to spend it on than my content at youtube.com slash youtube.com slash nocturne at nocturne. I'm sorry, I broke myself on that transition. So I felt like such a snake oil salesman. Okay,
It's
okay,
like
I'll get back to it.
if you only had 1 hour left to live, what better way to
Have
spend
to
it
live,
than on youtube.com
yeah,
slash at nocturne.
slash at nocturne or my Twitch and drop a follow on just drop a follow on either. Candy has so generously put my links in the title of these podcasts, so check them out and subscribe if you haven't. It's a very good thing to encourage me to keep going forward. But if you also want to spend your precious hours on other content, may I suggest the star lady herself, Candy, on her Twitch, where she will stream 100 Line and Persona coming up. Or you can check her YouTube to see the clips that are edited down from our podcast. I saw some of them, Candy, and I've shared them with friends and they enjoy it. Or her streams. She'll also show like just the podcast itself there. And if you want to just like see timbits of her thoughts, check her Blue Sky to just see her give you a deluge of what's working inside that skull of hers, and
Nothing
maybe
good,
one day
but maybe
maybe
you'll enjoy it.
yeah, maybe one day a professional can analyze it. Maybe in the future aliens will find that as the sole like last writing of humanity.
You know what? Like humanity is going to go extinct, and aliens are going to come back, and they're just going to find me on my fucking computer, being like, I need to finish 100 line before I die.
And thirst posting. Um, yeah, but if you're not an alien and just a human who wants to contact her, pretty much like almost 24/7 because my girl is chronically online, go to her Discord and join part of her community with such wonderful people like the people in chat. And Candy, I'm not there because I'm I spend enough time with Candy. The bot will leave all the links provided, and if you have such feedback for the podcast like, hey, I'm in a really dark place, Could you stop talking about Assassin's Creed so I don't take that last step? We'll go. Got it.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it anymore either.
Thanks for listening. Stay safe and happy. Have a wonderful week, all of you, and thank you for watching. All right, I'm Knocked. That's Candy. Adios, Candy. Bye. Love you. Wee.
I love you too. Bye bye. Listen, it's been sick of my shit. Listen, it's been 8 years. If he needed to leave, he would have already. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the plan for next week is going to be I'm going to try to rush through Persona 5 using my new game plus save. What can I say? I'm a professional. I'm a professional. But yeah, the plan is going to be next week is going to be just like because I feel like I'm enjoying the game, but I feel like I need a break from 100 line. I've been playing it for very long, and I feel like I need a break from 100 line. So we're going to like very quickly rush to Persona 5 using my new game plus save. I think with the new game plus save we can actually do it in a week, so I think it's going to be fine. And then we'll like move on to like we can intermittently like do 100 line and like the new Persona game that is coming out, and like maybe some Path of Exile, because I also want to play Path of Exile, but that is like for the week after that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. That being said, yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by. I hope you got a good day. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. And I hope you have a good day, good night, good rest of your evening. Thank you as always for being here. I really enjoy it. Like, we're coming out on like, I think 6 months. I think like next week is like 6 months since I started streaming, which is crazy. So yeah, thank you everyone for like being here for this for however long you've been. Thank you everyone. I really do appreciate it. It's been crazy so far, and I do hope to keep doing it. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here. I hope you have a good day, good night, good rest of your evening. And we'll go ahead and write someone, and I just go ahead and go eat something because I'm kind of hungry. Listen, I feel like I do have the advantage that I have been cursed with immortality, so maybe I can actually finish 100 line. You know? Maybe I can actually finish 100 line. But you know what's crazy? There is this streamer that I follow that has been playing 100 line for like almost every day since it came out, and she has only gotten like 30 endings. Which is terrifying. Like 30 out of 100. She's like, girl, that's scary. That's genuinely scary. It's like yeah, I'm starting to think like maybe this is like as long as One Piece. Maybe the One Piece was the 100 line we played along the way, you know. uh, but yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by, and I'll see you again Monday, probably, hopefully, likely. Bye bye. Bye bye.
That didn't go so good.
Ah! Not go so good. Candy, hello! Welcome in! What's going on? I thought I heard a gunshot. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Hello, Raiders!